Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Over and Under with Harry the Greek. I am your host this evening with the man from the sports web.
What's going on, guys? I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about. We got...
we're gonna have.
Yeah, I guess. He's not here.
He's in proxy.
Is he there? Is he invisible right now?
No, he's not invisible.
Oh.
But just to let you know, in 30 seconds, we're going to be live. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for the little interruption there. Man, what a week.
I'm telling you.
No, really, what a week. Can you imagine that? They not only managed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to franchise tag Chris Godwin,
which is what we kind of talked about.
Yep.
We've been talking about this from the get-go.
Levante David.
And then they get him signed.
Yeah, and then I'm the one who honestly said, and so did Jacob Charnell, that there was no way they're going to be able to retain Shaq Barrett. Where are they coming up with the money? I was wrong. Let me put this out there really quick. I was wrong. I thought there was no way that the Buccaneers are going to be able to save. Now, they haven't signed them yet, Peter.
No, they have not signed them yet. And everybody kind of saying because they franchised Chris Godwin and they got Levante David, that now makes it a little bit more difficult to get a Shaq Barrett. I just wouldn't rule them out. I wouldn't rule out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you look at free agency as a whole right now, getting two of your key players back. I mean, that's exactly what you wanted to do to start off, and that's exactly what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. So we'll talk about it tonight. I know that you had shows last night, but let's talk about it tonight here on the Over-Under Evolution. Is that what we're calling it tonight?
It's the evolution of the Over and Under with Harry the Greek.
And I'm your host, Peter Blake. Again, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy will be joining us on a brisk night here.
He's here in proxy, though.
He is, and I think there's a lot of Bucs fans that were kind of like, good thing that kind of happened. They get Levante David signed.
Buddy,
2 years, $25 million.
That was the most important signing of the three of them.
Really?
If they're going to get him. Yes, Levante David. He's the quarterback of that defense. People underestimate it because he's 30 years old now. He's on the wrong side of 30.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm sorry. He's on the wrong side of his age, being in his early 30s is what I meant, for God's sake.
He's 31.
Okay, he's 31 years old.
Right, but he's still playing at a high level. That's the point.
Listen, even a slower Levante David in this defensive scheme, okay, he is the one who's putting everybody in their position. And Dominican, move to the left a little bit. Shaq, get over to the right. Flip over. Listen, he's calling all the defensive plays.
Right.
That's worth its weight in gold.
And then on top of it, with him and his development for a Devin White, because it's so key, and you don't want to lose that chemistry. You definitely don't want to lose that chemistry from David. You don't want to ruin that linebacking core, and you're not going to have to worry about it now. And Jason Light and Mike Greenberg are magicians because they got Levante David to have a salary of 3.5 this year.
Wow.
3.5. So a lot of people saying doom and gloom at the beginning, of the offseason. A lot of main decisions here the Bucs have to make, and they still have to make some with getting Shaq Barrett in, Sue, Gronk, AB, Fournette, possibly Suck Up. We know that Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy is going to talk about him.
They have to sign Suck Up.
They have to.
Somehow, some way. I mean, kickers out there he scored 1/3 of the points. Listen, if you guys have a comment, go ahead and post one. We're going to go ahead and read it. And if you have any questions or you want to call in, we have open phone lines at 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, the host with the most, because I have Mr. Peter Blake from the sports web sitting next
Absolutely,
to me.
The evolution of sports talk television. We definitely want to hear from you tonight. What do you guys think about the moves? Of course, again, they started off during the day, getting Godwin franchised, and go to those comments. Let's see what the comments are going on.
I think there was a couple
There's
over here.
There's a lot
already,
of comments.
We're going to actually start right now. Corey says, can we win another Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Don't say it yet.
I'm already saying it. Super Bowl.
No, don't.
No. Bust.
I'm shutting his mic off.
No, don't do that, because I said this the same thing last year. And you know what the funny thing is? And we're going to be back here next Wednesday night for the start of the league year.
Oh, my God.
It's actually the anniversary of Tom Brady.
Yep.
coming there. And I remember that was such a big event. You know, everybody was going through the pandemic at this point. You started to see sports being shut down. Everything was being shut down at that point. And Tom Brady was coming to town. And even back then, last March, I was saying Super Bowl or bust. I actually think, Harry, this team could be better because they're going to have the offseason.
No, it's going to be better. Peter.
Right.
That is for sure. But they have to get some fresh blood in there.
Oh, I agree with that. But they'll do that with the draft.
Yes.
They'll do that with their
right.
And I would not be surprised if once they get most of their guys that they're going to sign, and I believe they're going to have the majority of their guys signed, they're going to get Shaq signed somehow. And even if they don't sign him, there's options out there. You have a Trey Hendrickson from the New Orleans Saints.
Great player.
You have a Lawson from the Cincinnati Bengals who wasn't franchised.
Without question.
We talked about Clowney. We talked about the possibility of Von Miller. So it's not like, Harry, they can't go out there and replace the Shaq Barrett. But at the end of the day, Barrett's going to have to decide. The Bucs are going to have to come to a number, and it may come down to, legal tampering starts on Sunday.
Yes, it does.
He may want to test the market and see where it's at, come back to the Bucs and say, this is what I'm getting. And they may not want to match it and they may go in a different direction. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you don't think this is the number one situation with the Tom Brady and what they've done already with their 2 free agent signings, I don't know what you're looking at.
I agree with you 100% when you're talking about that. But just them even talking about signing him, there has to be some validity to that.
Sure.
Okay. Because I don't know where they're coming up with the money. There has to be some backdoor ways right now that they're doing creative financing. It's just the way it is. They have to be.
Sure.
Because if you put his contract on the table with what he's going to get, they're over cap.
Oh yeah. Well, it's $182 million today. That was reported. It's 8% down. So somebody has to restructure, whether it's Brady, whether it's JPP. We haven't heard that yet. We haven't heard those terms yet.
Peter, but Skip. But listen,
Skip.
But Peter.
Yeah.
Even if he restructures his contract, there's still not enough money. There has to be another back door there. There's some serious creative financing going on.
Definitely. When you can get David to take $3.5 million.
Peter, let's go to the next comment real quick.
Here we go. Mr. Troll himself.
Oh, you can't Ben Israel. That's my boy. He's not a troll.
He's not a troll?
He used to be a troll.
You love that guy?
I love this guy.
Okay.
UCAN is awesome. You're my boy, UCAN. Don't listen to him. Okay.
Sorry.
Home sweet home, South Chicago, Halsted Street. I'll explain that to you one day.
Oh, so that's your guy there.
No. He's not my guy, but I'm going to explain to you what South Halsted Street is.
I have no idea what that is. I think that's a place where you get shot. And consequently, I think
you don't get shot. Hey, you can. Do me a favor. 727-255-0391.
Yeah, what's going on? I don't even have the cricket sound effect. I don't have my sound effects. I feel like naked right now.
I want you to call in. And I want you to explain to Mr. Peter Blake.
By the way, somebody can turn on the air because the air got turned down. I thought Florida, what was going on with Florida? We got, mosquitoes out here and stuff like that. But
I just turned the air on. Look, it's
right there, but it just seems like it's a little bit too cool. It's not bad. But
it's all right. Carl Hardy, I can see who we will replace Barrett with. Who? Yeah, really.
So tell us, if you want to replace Barrett, if you think the Bucs are not going to get this done, and recent reports would suggest that they're in contract negotiations long-term. And look, a lot of NFL insiders were saying it best. The reason why you tag a Chris Godwin in the first place is because you got something worked out with the Shaq Barrett. And I would not be surprised that this was a part of their plan all along.
Listen,
I want to hear from you, Bucs fans. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Go ahead. I know it's your show, but I just got to do it.
That's okay. I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
It's like we're going to fight over the mic.
We're going to fight over the mic.
It's okay.
I eat the mic sometimes.
But listen, but seriously, Shaq Barrett is a great player.
Right.
He probably gets more pressures than anybody in football. That's what I don't like because he doesn't get to the quarterback like he should be.
Sure.
Okay. I think that might change this year.
Well, I think it's going to change also because look,
did you see him in the playoffs?
He was a superstar. He had 4 sacks. Did you see him in the Packers game? He had 3 sacks. I thought he had 4 sacks. He was dominating.
He looked every bit as good as Von Miller or Khalil Mack in their prime.
Oh yeah,
you heard me say that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge compliment.
But that will be one of those negotiating tactics by an agent and also by Jason Light and Mike Greenberg. They say, well, the sacks weren't there. And then Shaq will come back and say, look, I had 3rd most pressures in the NFL. So if I had most pressures in the NFL and I'm still getting it done without a Vita Vea, and now most likely, knock on wood, you're going to have Vita Vea back for a full year, I think that's going to improve. So, again, let's hear from you guys. 727-255-0391. What else we got?
Well, first off, we're still waiting for Ray Kennedy to come by.
He's,
that's why we're looking a little bit off balance.
He would be late for his own funeral. Honestly, I know this guy by now. And there's times where we've done remotes and, pregame and stuff like that. And he's late. He's just setting up, but he'll get here. So
how you doing, Adam? Adam Perdomo Rivera. What's up, Harry and Peter? Positive vibes from Largo. Positive vibes back to you. Tim Wotherspoon. In Light We Trust. Absolutely. Yeah. Tim, again, imagine that linebacker court. JPP, David White, and Von Miller. I like it.
I like it too, and I wouldn't rule it out. Again, it depends on it. And you kind of think about it. You go back to we've talked about this on the sports web ad nauseum, and you talk about a guy like Shaq who got a 1-year contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has never really gotten a chance to see free agency, has never really made that type of money. He's got the opportunity to do it. You kind of wonder with his comments of breaking the bank, does he want to test free agency out?
Everybody wants to be able to test free agency because they're going to see what their worth is actually.
Right. And the legal tampering period starts on Sunday, which is weird this year. I thought it was just Monday.
Funny. No, it really is.
It's Sunday weird. To, I believe, like Tuesday, and then Tuesday they kind of call off, like Sunday to Tuesday, and then they call it off, and then the new league year starts on Wednesday. So
I hate to say this to the Tampa fans, but Shaq Barrett is a system player, just like 2/3 of the players are in the National Football League.
Right.
Okay. Just because he's really good here playing this particular position in this particular defense does not mean he would be very good if he went to Detroit or if he went to Cleveland.
Sure.
It would have to be a fit for him.
That has to factor into it.
Right.
I mean, that's
absolutely.
That is the whole fear of free agency, even though guys are going to get paid.
Your teammates make you better.
Right. But also the system makes you better. Like
absolutely.
You feel comfortable. If you go to a worse team, let's say you get that money from the Jacksonville Jaguars or the New York Jets, which has been predicted, or some other team out there, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be as productive as he is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You know why? Because you don't have
signing him.
Right.
When they're talking about it, that they're in negotiations, that means both parties are at the table talking about it. And if Jason Light has something to do with this,
how much money does it? How much money is too much for Shaq Barrett, in your opinion?
15.
Oh, it's going to be way over 15.
It can't be.
Oh, yeah.
Where are they coming up with the money?
They're going to figure it out. But I'm telling you right now, it's going to be over 15. It's going to definitely be over, because there's going to be a team out there, and that's the thing. It's
then I say let him go.
20.
Then I say let him go, and you take your chances.
But you still have that.
Then you take your chances with a Von Miller. You get him for half the amount of money. He's got legal problems. I get this. But nobody is talking about what the legal problems are. This could be something so stupid that it requires him not to miss any football whatsoever.
Well,
Peter.
there's been no legal. There's not going to be any legal charges that are going to be filed against him.
Well, then it wasn't. It was a friggin' traffic ticket, and they probably found a joint in the center.
But here's the problem: the NFL will basically, they'll suspend you for anything at this point. So
I looked at you wrong.
Huh?
I looked at you wrong.
Right, exactly.
So I got suspended.
I mean, that's exactly how the NFL works. So you don't know, but we also don't know if Denver is going to cut him. We're just assuming. But look, even if you decide to go away from a Shaq Barrett, you're still going to have to pay a guy like a Bud Dupree from Pittsburgh. You're going to have to pay him $18 to $20 million. A Matt Judon from Baltimore.
I don't think Bud Dupree is going to get that much.
Oh, yeah.
You really honestly think so?
Oh, yeah.
Where have I been under a rock?
I mean, look, pass rushers don't grow on trees. That's why a lot of fans out there, and I'm surprised nobody is calling in and talking about this. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I mean, what do you think? Can the Bucs pull it off here? Can they pull off this hat trick by getting Shaq Barrett signed? Of course, they franchised Chris Godwin yesterday. They re-signed Levante David to a 2-year contract, but absolutely,
that's the
pass rushing specialist.
This year.
Yeah, Chris Godwin to me was easy.
And Chris Godwin was the easy one, okay?
Yeah.
But the biggest signing that they had, the most important, I'm telling you, was Levante David. I am going to sit here and I will keep pounding my chest on that. You have no idea. You have no idea. We're going to get back to the comments. Adam Padermo Rivera, can we see Allen Robinson and Russell Wilson in Chicago for 2021?
I mean, that's been the big time talk, has
huge
it not?
Fantasy points if those two play in the same field. Adam, you're absolutely correct with that. But it isn't going to be Wilson to Robinson that's going to put up the fantasy points. It's that rookie wide receiver that they had this year, and my mind is just completely gone.
That's okay. It happens. It happens when you're around me.
I'm 43, man. It's just so bad.
You're what? You're not 40. Get out of here.
Will you shut up?
You shut up and be quiet.
God.
Stop stealing my lines.
You can, Ben Israel. Get shot only if you're around Inglewood. You got it, brother.
That's what I'm saying. I get it. Kind of get it. That's the South Side, right? Put
Johnny
it on the board.
Dean. Yes.
Yes.
Johnny Dean, Bears trading for Sam Darnold. I'd like it.
I've heard it.
I've heard that too, but why go to Sam Darnold when you already have Mr. Trubisky?
Right.
He's a better option at this point.
No, for me, Darnold is
Gary
better.
Ivick. Gary, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look in that camera and tell Gary he's awesome.
Well, we're going to go out to the phone lines here.
Want me to get that one?
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
How you doing, caller? Welcome to the Over Under with Harry the Greek and Peter Blake. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I was wondering what you think about.
Well, hold on a minute, Rob, the sports god. You got to introduce yourself here. Come on, man.
I didn't ask him. No.
Well, you did. You said you
calm down, brother.
Where's he calling from?
He's getting so hyped.
I'm gonna hang up on you if you don't do it. If you don't do it right.
Clearwater Largo area.
There you go.
Hi, Rob.
Introduce yourself. See, that's how you be right now. You got to have some manners.
How you doing, Mr. Rob?
Pretty good. I was wondering what you think about Lovie Smith joining the Texan staff.
That's a
also
great question.
What do you think about the Gonzaga Zags?
Well, they're undefeated.
Basketball.
Well, I know you want to change subjects all the time, so March Madness is coming up next week.
Let's start with March Madness really quick.
Okay, Gonzaga's undefeated. So
you're right. I was watching that game last night.
I'm not watching.
And
I haven't watched a lot of college basketball.
Let me tell you something. BYU had them on the ropes.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They had them on the ropes, and all of a sudden, I fell asleep. I woke up, and Gonzaga was tearing them a new ass.
I've watched absolutely
Gonzaga
zero college
is
basketball
for real this year. But come playoff time, they'll probably be. I'm sorry, come March Madness, I don't see them in the Final Four. I just don't. I can tell you this much about the Tiny 10, though, if you want to know, Rob.
Tiny 10.
I know that the Illini can't shoot free throws, and they beat the brakes off of Michigan, and Michigan was a better team. So let me tell you something. Just get the board and put all your teams up there, 64 of them, and just start throwing darts at it. That's my over and under. Now, you wanted to know about Lovie Smith? First off, Lovie Smith as a person was a great individual. I just so happened to have had some interactions with him a couple of different times. As a matter of fact, here in the south side of St. Pete over at Lakewood High School, a great individual. I mean, just let me tell you something, a heart of gold. I would have loved to have seen Lovie Smith be part of this coaching staff, not so much as being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but of some sort of capacity. Houston right now is a dumpster fire.
That's a mess.
I know.
I feel bad for Lovie Smith. I feel bad for
too.
any coach that's getting a job right now. David Culley, who used to coach with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
But defenses like to play for him. They really do.
They don't have the defensive talent. They just lost J.J. Watt.
I understand that, but trust me, they're going to take a bunch of underprivileged people, literally, and I hate to use that loosely, and they're actually going to have a formidable defense this year.
You think so?
Because of that coach. They're not going to be world beaters, Peter, but they're going to be pretty good.
I don't know. Lovie Smith, for me, kind of lost his way with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that defensive mentality. I didn't see that here. So it remains to be seen for me. There's so many problems with that organization. And the first thing has to start with, Rob, is what they're going to do with the Deshaun Watson situation. Looks like they're going to let Will Fuller walk. So that's 2 wide receivers in 2 straight years now that they let him walk. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but they've got to do something here eventually. They got to trade Watson because he wants no part of that organization, no part of that game plan, no part of that game and that coaching staff at all. None. So, and the money that you're paying him right now, you might as well get something for him, Rob. Anything else?
Yeah, Pete, make sure you watch college basketball when Duke takes on Florida State.
Oh, yeah, because Florida State will wax them, right?
I don't think so, Pete.
No, you don't think so?
Chance.
Really?
Zero.
I don't think Duke is that great. You know what, Rob? I'm about ready to hang up on you.
No, Rob, I like you.
Throw that
Rob,
at me right now.
You don't understand. Don't you dare hang up on Rob.
Will you shut up and be quiet? I'm trying.
Okay. Have a good evening, Pete.
All right.
Great show.
Thanks a lot, Rob. Appreciate it.
Thanks for calling
That's
up,
probably
brother.
one of the longest calls that Rob has because he's Mr. Expedient when he's on. And he always likes to change the subject all the time. Always.
You know, just to let you know, we do look a little off-centered here because we're still waiting for the co-host.
It's the ghost guy. It's the ghost man right
He's here in proxy. But anyway, remember when I told you to look into the camera?
Yes.
There's a really good friend of mine that's out in Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay, his name is Gary Ivick. He's a huge Philadelphia Eagle fan.
Really?
We used to work together for quite a long time. He was one of the better people that I've known in the company that I work for.
I like him.
So, Gary, this is Peter Blake, and Gary actually left a comment. It says, next season's going to be the Bucs' last chance for a Super Bowl run.
You could make that case.
I can make that argument.
If Tom Brady
there's a
falls
reason.
off a cliff.
Hold on. There's a follow-up statement.
Okay. Let's see it.
Because there's no chance that Leftwich and Bowles don't get a head coaching gig. I'm going to agree with part of that statement. Todd Bowles has already been a head coach, Gary. Okay. And I think it didn't go too well. He's an extraordinary defensive coordinator. Now, as far as Byron Leftwich, Tampa fans, don't be mad at me because you know I'm going to bring it real. I'm always 100. He's got zero chance of being a head coach in the National Football League.
And I'm going to disagree with you. Byron Leftwich has absolutely been groomed to be the next head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You keep saying this.
Because Bruce went to the Glazers and tried to
I'm
sell
going to say
everybody.
2 words to you.
Go ahead.
Eric Bieniemy. That's it. Mic drop.
But here's the thing. Byron Leftwich has played in the league just like Bieniemy, and most likely he'll put up a good interview. Doesn't even have to interview. They want to keep him in-house. So when the Bucs repeat and Bruce Arians goes off into the sunset, Byron Leftwich is going to be your next head coach. It's not going to be Todd Bowles. It's not.
And they'll be just right in mediocrity because you're not going to have Tom Brady.
I'm not ready to say that because I think Brady could go another 2-3 years if he wants to. I mean, he's playing at a high level. And that's the thing. People say, well, this year may be the last chance. He's playing at a high level. He had 40 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
I'm not talking about that. We're talking about Byron Leftwich being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Why can't he do it? Why can't he do it?
He wasn't even a good quarterback.
He was a good coordinator last year. Didn't that team come together the second half of the year?
This team did not come together because of Byron Leftwich.
Wait a minute.
Gary, I need you to do me a favor, Gary. I need you to put this argument to rest. So either call in to that phone number you see on the bottom of the screen or leave me another message. Because if I'm wrong, I'll listen to you.
727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the over-under, the evolution of the over-under here live on Bucs Report. Absolutely. They sold the Glazers on the whole deal. And to me, you look at the rankings, even with the Jameis Winston and all the turnovers, still top 5 offense. You look at this year, still top 5 offense. I get it. You could say Tom Brady. You could say that with any offense. You could have said that with Bill Walsh when he was first starting out. You just don't know. And I feel like Bruce Arians has absolutely sold the Glazers on a Leftwich. I think Leftwich has more of a possibility of being a head coach in this league, especially with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why would the Bucs want him to get out of that building? What do we got? Go ahead.
Hi, welcome to the evolution of the over and under. I'm Harry the Greek. What's your name and where are you calling from?
You already know who this is.
Oh, it's Mr. Dan. That's Mr. Dan Williams. How you doing, man? Welcome.
How you doing, brother? And hey, I don't have nothing to get your sidekick right next door to you. It's all good.
Oh yeah, this is my professional handicapper here. This is Mr. 88%, 89. This is the guy right here, Mr. Williams, you need to listen to when you're picking some games, especially this year coming up. Now, I will say this. Let me ask you this, because this question has been posed out there by Gary, who's a big-time Eagle fan, one of Harry's good friends. Who do you think more likely could be the coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the future?
You know I'm going to lose this argument.
Is it Byron Leftwich or is it Todd Bowles?
No.
How about neither of them?
Once Bruce go off into the sunset after he get his second Super Bowl, hey, he's gonna pass the torch down to Brian, and yes,
oh God,
another offensive coordinator to replace Brian Leftwich.
So let me get this straight. Byron Leftwich does nothing and he gets promoted.
Wait a minute. He just had a top 3 offense the last 2 years.
Tom Brady did.
Oh, okay. So you could say the same thing about Phil Jackson. Well, Phil Jackson had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Hey, it's a different story.
No, it's not.
Hey, do not disrespect.
I'm not disrespecting him, but that's been
the
argument
trilogy,
that's been thrown out there.
That's the trilogy.
That's been thrown out there all the time.
That's the original GOAT.
And the same thing can be said about Phil. Oh, well, shut up and be quiet. Go ahead, Dan.
Right. You know, right. Me and you had this talk. Hey, so like I say, man, enjoy your ribs. Hey, send me let me come get me a bone, okay? Because everything you and me talked about, Levante Davis is here to stay.
Oh, yes. You like that, huh? 2
big.
years, $25 million. I mean, how big? Were you popping bottles last night, Mr. Williams? Were you popping bottles last night when that got signed? Were you popping bottles?
Oh, yes. Did I not tell you, bro? Levante is going to stay here.
You did. You did. You absolutely did. You did call it. Yes. And he actually called the figure too, I believe.
Yes, and this crap about OBJ stay in
Cleveland.
Bro.
Hey, listen, Cleveland is the armpit of this country. Hold on for a second, okay? That's exactly where he's going to sit. He's in one armpit, and New Jersey's the other armpit, okay? That's exactly where OBJ needs to stay. And right in the middle.
To offend everybody
hang
right
on.
now.
And that's okay, because I'm an equal opportunity offender.
I see this.
Okay, you got one armpit in Cleveland. You got the other armpit in Jersey. What's in the middle? Gary, it's called Philadelphia.
Oh, Gary, shots fired.
That's okay. I'll get him to call in.
Yeah, you will. All right. Yeah, no. I agree with you, Mr. Williams, on OBJ. There's no way it's going to happen. It's just conjuncture.
And that young man right next door to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about, right now, Bruce Arians go off into the sunset after his second Super Bowl. Yes.
So you're saying this is his last year?
You say this is last year, you think?
Hey, man, what, Bruce almost 70, bro. He gonna give it another run.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady can play 345, possibly more. But as of right now, Tom Brady got everything. He got all his toys.
My boy over here sounds like he's got a shot of hen in his hand.
Oh, does. He does. I love Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams always brings it. He always brings it on the sports web, and he's bringing it tonight. But he's definitely got some drink in his cup.
All his toys that when he was in New England.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I need this. I need that. Y'all don't want to do this? Okay. All right.
This guy's a trip.
Yep.
I'm going.
Yep.
Okay. Tampa want to give me $60 million for 2 years. Okay. This is what I'm going to put out here for Tampa. Look. I want this. I want that.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring Brock from WWE, World Wrestling Federation.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I want to bring him from the World Wrestling Federation.
Okay.
As you know, Tampa spun money. I don't know if they had to get that money out the chimney or whatever. From out the little shack up underground.
Right.
But they went out.
They got it under a mattress somewhere there, Mr. Williams.
That's where I keep my money.
Well, you always keep your money there.
And they got what number 12 needed.
That's it.
He won. And, I want Antonio Brown. Okay. Okay, yeah, I know my front office probably say, well, Antonio Brown got this and that kind of problem. Okay, cool. But I'm willing to take the responsibility for whatever he got going on. You feel me?
Right.
But I want y'all to bring him here. And I don't know if nobody else figured it out, but Mr. Brown was living with Tom Brady and his family.
I got you, man. It makes lots of sense. So you think that Byron Leftwich will be the next coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
He wore me out. I agree.
All right. All right, Mr. Williams. We appreciate the call. Appreciate you, all right?
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. When you go get the ribs, call me now.
Ribs. Hey, I got barbecue. No. I got barbecue. That fat finger troll, Roger Shue, he lost that bet. I told you guys that I was willing to bet barbecue because Chris Godwin got franchised.
You're going to be waiting forever.
BS. I'm going to get that. Hey, Mr. Williams, I'm getting it this Friday. I'm going to take pictures of it on Facebook, all right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Williams, you have a great one. I want to thank you for calling.
And did I not tell you that we were going to make sure Levante Davis be back.
Oh, you told me that, man. You always tell me that. That's why I appreciate your calls. Thanks a lot, Mr. Williams, for the call. Keep on calling. All right, my friend?
Yes, sir, man. Number love, brother.
I love you too, brother. All right, good stuff there from Mr. Williams. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So after that call, you convinced on Byron Leftwich?
Oh, no, he wore me out.
He wore you out on that.
He wore me out.
I mean, to me, again, statistics don't lie. Stats don't lie. Maybe stats are for losers, as some coaches would say, but stats don't lie.
Zero chance.
Okay, we'll see. I'll bet
We're going to go back to the comments.
I'll bet you on it.
Anything you bet.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking to the Greek, bro.
I'll bet you.
I'll give you 2-1 on your money. Name it now.
Name it now. Okay. We'll talk off air.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I'm not doing no breakfast sandwich. Don't put me in the corner. Gary, tell him about it.
Shut up and be quiet.
Michael Martinez, who will be Miami's quarterback next? That's a good question. I think they have one down there. I just think they totally blew it with the guy, the way they handled him.
Well, Fitzpatrick should have been the starter from
Absolutely.
the very get-go. Miami had an
Tua
opportunity.
never should have seen the field this year other than garbage time.
But here's my thing. Deshaun Watson should most likely be the quarterback. Now, it depends on where this organization wants to go. Do they believe in Tua? Because if they have any doubts at this point, we know that the NFL, once again, is an emulation league.
Yeah.
So you look at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to say it, and it's going to freak everybody out, especially Ray Hughes. Josh Rosen, right? Josh Rosen gets drafted 10th overall. Arizona resets.
Hold on.
Yes.
Say it again.
Josh Rosen.
One more time.
Josh Rosen.
It still works.
Yeah, and then Kyler Murray gets drafted the very next year. So could you see them going with a quarterback? I doubt it. What I could see is trading a Tua to the Houston Texans for multiple draft picks, getting a Deshaun Watson, because you look at the Dolphins right now, they most likely need a running game, probably an Aaron Jones, who didn't get franchised yesterday, which, by the way, we can talk about that. Were you surprised by that?
Surprised?
Development?
If Green Bay loses him?
Well, they got A.J. Dillon, who they drafted out of Boston College now.
I don't care. You lose him, you can say goodbye to that division, which wouldn't break my heart. You know, being
that division's not much anyway, besides maybe Chicago.
Shut up.
All right, so let's go out.
E.
Yes, I got to go out to this guy.
You answering it?
Yes, my former co-host from a radio station in a galaxy far, far away, Sean the Sports Don. Welcome to the Over-Under, the evolution over the Over-Under. What's on your mind, boss?
What's going on, Spider?
What's up, man? You got Harry the Greek here, too, with us, my professional handicapper.
Oh, my goodness. What are we handicapping tonight, sir?
Well, we're handicapping how many times you're going to say you're a defensive guy. That's what we're handicapping.
I
which
like
are
this
most
guy
likely
already.
a billion.
If you've been...
Well,
are you there?
Hey, can you hear me now? Good.
Are you serious?
He's done. See ya.
See, you can't buy your phone at 7-Eleven, Sean the Sports Don. You just can't do that.
Can't
you got to
call
stop
back.
doing that.
I got to have real phone calls when they're in here.
You shut up and be quiet. This is a real phone call. You probably got
Jack Wright. His name is Darnell Mooney. That's the name of the wide receiver.
There you go, Darnell Mooney.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now.
Off injured all year long, but lots of potential.
He wasn't injured last year.
Somewhat. Oh, here he comes. He's calling back. So let's get him on. All right.
I'll try it.
Go ahead. Get him on. Sean the Sports Don, what happened? I told you stop buying phones at Walmart and Cricket. What is it? Cricket Wireless you got?
You got Cricket
what
there,
do you got
don't you,
there?
bro?
I got the Dodge phone. You know, I had to get off the
Well, that's cheap. That's cheap and frugal. We all know what the Don means. It means you're cheap.
No, I had to get off the phone where it's that top of the line where everybody can't hear what I'm talking about right now. I had to come back to the peasants phone.
Oh, the peasants.
My bad.
Okay.
I was talking on the phone that you guys cannot talk on. You understand the lines you guys can't talk on. But what's going on, Greek? How you doing tonight, sir?
Not bad, brother. Not bad at all. How
look
are
who
you
just
doing?
tied us.
Hey, hang on.
You gotta say hi to him.
Everybody stop. Actually, turn the switch on.
You gotta turn that switch on, buddy.
It's on. It's on the other side.
It's an amazing thing when you turn on the
Watch
switch. What? You gotta turn on the switch there.
There we go.
There you go.
It's
All right.
called noise canceling.
Tampa Bay,
Pull
Ray
it down a
Kennedy,
little further. Best
of the Bay. Welcome to the evolution of the over-under. We got
Hey.
Sean the Sports Don, former co-host. This is my new co-host and my other co-host here. So we're all kumbaya-ing together. Go ahead, Sean the Sports Don, with your long dribble.
Well, obviously, I want to answer your question. You asked how many times I would, say, I'm a defensive guy. You can always bet the over on that. You can always make money. You can always make money on that.
Oh, absolutely, because we know you're going to say you're a defensive guy. You're a defensive guy. So with starting out as being a defensive guy, how concerned are you with Shaq Barrett and the numbers? Because some of the numbers that are being bandied about here, $18 to $20 million. I mean, where's the figure where you think
they
the
can't
Bucs
pay him that money?
They're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to pay the man. They're going to, unless they.
I'm not. Well, first of all, I'm not concerned at all.
Okay.
Because first of all,
Because it ain't your money.
Exactly. Well, there you go. Exactly.
It's not my money, but also you heard your coach and your GM come out at the parade tell you your ass ain't going nowhere.
That's true.
Okay, so
that's true.
So
little liquid courage.
They already know. Well, no, I get what you're saying is liquid courage, but they also know they have already been looking at this well before the Super Bowl boat parade. They already knew what they were going up against. And so the fact that BA can come out and say it so emphatically already lets me further know they know what they have to do in order to get these things signed. So let's take Levante David contract. And, oh, by the way, it only counts $2.5 million.
$3.5 million this year to the cap.
Exactly.
It's a magician
so
right there.
Know how to manipulate the salary cap and get this thing accomplished. And you got obviously Tom Brady, who's probably going to extend his contract. We already got Mike Evans saying, listen, I'm going to take less money or, restructure my contract. They know what they're doing, guys. And everybody's saying, well, why would you tag Chris Godwin and not Barrett? Well, because you already tagged Barrett last year, and also because Barrett
I was one of them that actually said that.
Oh yeah, well they not only tagged him last year, but also they don't want to tag him. He wants to be tagged as a defensive end. He doesn't want to be tagged as an outside linebacker because it's a $2 to $3 million difference. And on top of it, if you didn't tag a Godwin, it would have been more difficult to sign him. With all the teams out there looking for a wide receiver, especially a premium wide receiver, 24 years old. And you got to think here, Sean, with them tagging a Godwin, guys, and you can talk about this a little bit, that they already know they have a plan. We heard, the reports yesterday, they were talking about long-term deals. So this must have been the plan all along here, right?
Well, the thing is.
No, but here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing you got to understand. First of all, Godwin has already come out and told you, I'm willing to play on the tag.
Correct.
That's first.
Correct.
Second of all, you can't.
What was there, like 18 million reasons?
Well, here's the thing though. But you can't tag Barrett now because you tagged him last year, and you're talking about a guy who's already won 2 Super Bowls.
It's true. That's true.
And guys, Sean.
So you can't. Hold on. You cannot tag him again because
you got no chance, right?
I'm looking for the bag.
Hey, guys, Sean.
So he's looking.
Shaq Barrett has to get tagged in 2020 because the guy had 19.5 sacks and led the NFL, right? And don't forget when they
last year.
Well, and when they tagged Shaq Barrett last year, they didn't have Tom Brady under contract yet. Shaq led the NFL with 19.5 sacks, and he was your outstanding defensive player, even with the rookie Devin White there in the middle coming along. My question for you guys is, it's not a question of whether the Bucs do or don't want Shaq Barrett, want him back for this defense. We know what he can do, even if it was more applying quarterback pressures as opposed to getting those sacks. But we saw what happened when Vita Vea was injured down the middle. We saw what happened when
very
his defense,
pedestrian.
Well, and I'm not saying so much pedestrian, but how many teams out there are going to break the bank for a Shaq Barrett? Now, I'm not saying there aren't teams that would not want a solid player like
I'll name
Shaq.
2 of them right now.
Go ahead.
Cleveland, Jets, Indy. Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm going to name some teams. The Raiders, Jacksonville, Atlanta.
Well, you're naming teams that need a good defensive
and they have money to spend.
They have money to spend them, and that's the worry. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, I get
let
what
Ray finish. Let Ray finish.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying though is that they don't have the mix of Vita Vea. They don't have Devin White, Levante David. They don't have Jason Pierre-Paul on the other side. So other teams, besides the fact that they have a lot of money to spend and they have a defense that needs improvement, they've also got to take into consideration how much of what Shaq Barrett does is predicated upon the talent that surrounds him. Now, do they want a veteran to come in on their defense? Well, any team wants that. I'm not saying he can't be an asset. What I'm saying is I don't think the market for Shaq Barrett is going to be as great as everybody thinks. It's going to be good, and it's going to cost a lot of money.
That's because he didn't get to the quarterback like he did in the previous years.
Right.
You don't get paid for pressure.
Well,
here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. This is the point I was making. we franchised him last year, okay? We can't franchise him this year because he's looking for the bank. And there's going to be a team, I don't care if it's one or two teams, that's going to be willing to pay him 17, 18, 19 million dollars.
Sure.
So the Bucs already know that they're going to have to do that. If you franchise him again, you're talking about a 25% increase in terms of the 15% that we've already paid him. So they're going to have to give him that money anyway. So to franchise him again, he's not going to play on a franchise tag this year because he wants the long-term security, wherein Godwin is okay right now playing on the franchise tag. So the Bucs got to figure out a way to give him long-term security, and that's why you don't franchise Shaq Barrett right now. You go ahead and give him a long-term security because next year and the year after that, the Bucs have great cap room, and so you go ahead and take care of him now, and that's why it is. If they don't value Chris Godwin necessarily more than Shaq Barrett, but Shaq Barrett is not coming back to play for you on a franchise tag deal. He wants his security now. I have 2 championships. I've already proven myself for 2 years. I want my money now.
Well, Sean, here's the thing. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say is the salary cap goes from 198 in 2020 down to 182.5. Now they're saying for sure for this year. You've already got 27 of 32 teams that are already scrambling. Yep. You've got the Saints. You've got 7 or 8 teams that are cutting entire payrolls just to get under that salary cap. Now, I'm not saying there aren't teams out there that want to sell tickets, that want to bring in a defensive player that wouldn't like to have a Shaq Barrett as their defensive end or outside linebacker. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, you're going to have all these teams that are going to go look at it and they're going to go, well, the Bucs had Vita Vea, the Bucs had Jason Pierre-Paul, the Bucs had Devin White and Levante David, the Bucs had this year had Tom Brady in that offense. Now, how much of this lessened cap can we afford to spend on a defensive end that we don't know how he's going to react without all those tools around him?
You don't know.
And then at the end of the day, you're going to have to ask Shaq. Okay, Shaq, they're offering you 12 to 15 to 16 million dollars. We can only offer you 12 to 14 million, but we can give you a almost guaranteed shot at going for 2 in a row and being part of this party again. I think the Bucs have the leverage in these negotiations. I think Shaq wants to get paid. I just don't think that the money out there is going to be as great as everybody's saying. Is he a hot commodity? 100%. Is the money going to be $19 million for Shaq Barrett? Honestly, I don't see the market. There will be a team that tries to overpay, but I'm thinking Shaq Barrett's market will be more between 12 and 15.
You know, Ray, Peter, I got to say one thing. I'm going to jump in and just say one thing.
Okay.
And it's not going to be a popular opinion. But then again, when are my opinions popular?
Well,
anyway?
never a popular. You're not a popular guy.
I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could do better than a Shaq Barrett for less money.
I don't know. I'll tell you right now. Look, there's some options out there. We talked
they really
about
are.
this.
And look, Shaq Barrett is a great football player.
Von Miller,
okay, but not
Bud
for
Dupree,
the money that you're going to be
Matt
paying
Judon. But the problem is, guys, it only takes. Wait a minute. Wait, Sean here. Sean, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. It
Okay.
only takes one team. Only takes one team to
takes one
overpay. He goes to the Bucs and he goes, this is what they're going to give me, and they have to figure out if they're going to pay it or not. But anyway it goes, guys, you got a Bud Dupree from Pittsburgh who wants to get paid. I mean, again, these pass rushing specialists, they don't grow on trees. The value is there. The market is there. $18 to $20 million. You look at Jadeveon Clowney, $13 million last year, didn't have a sack, so you may be able to get him on the cheap. But how much potential does he have? Is he willing to take less money? $10 million for no sacks last year. You have a Von Miller who you don't know about.
There is my perfect example of a player that's in a system.
Right.
You're talking about Jadeveon Clowney, who just came out of college, 3-4 years ago?
But he wasn't good last year. He was hurt.
Time out. I understand he was hurt. This guy was the next White.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, not the next one. He was the next Reggie White.
Right. He was next Reggie White. He was the next Strahan. He was the next. He was anointed.
And we've seen that he's been inconsistent, and that's the problem.
But when he played, he could play hard.
Shaq Barrett is not inconsistent. I just don't think he necessarily got the quarterback. But you look at the numbers again, third in pressures in the NFL. Again,
pressures. We're talking about pressures.
What if it's the Houston Texans? What if it's the Houston Texans? What if it's the team that's offering Shaq all that money? Shaq Barrett looks at it and goes, do I want to go play for that
I agree.
dumpster fire of a team?
But he may just want to get paid. And again, the grass isn't greener on the other side. Go ahead, Sean.
What's up, Sean?
Sean, go ahead.
First of all, second of all, He's not. Listen, there's no team out there in the NFL who's going to only offer him $12 million. Let's just get off.
Well,
of
I
that.
never said that.
He
I mean, that's right.
But I heard the Greek say 12.
No,
to
I did,
15.
Sean.
Like,
I said his market's 12 to 15 million.
No
That's
way.
what I thought his market
No
was.
way. His market is at least $19 million.
Yes, that's
at
what
least.
that's what all the publications are saying. So he's looking for that now.
Yep.
Because again, he was just tagged last year and he got 15 or 16 million. So he's going to get at least that, because what we remember him showing up in the big games. That's when you become legend, when you show up in the playoffs, and he showed up in the
Sorry,
playoffs.
I don't believe in part-time players. You can talk to your blue in the face, brother.
I agree with what you're saying.
I'm not a part-time player. You come every play when you play in a National Football League. You get paid $15 million a year. You don't take plays off.
But
you have got to go.
Well, here's the thing. He got paid. Wait. Hold on. He got paid $15 million last year. He had 19 and a half sacks. He led the NFL. So now I understand where he's coming from. He only had 8 sacks this year. JPP led the team, and, of course, not having a Vita Vea. I get that. But at the end of the day, you have to look at what Shaq is looking at. And I know what Sean is saying. This guy hasn't made his big-time money. It's not like a Sue situation where Sue has made his money, where Brady has made his money.
Let me ask you a question.
Shaq hasn't made his
money.
When
Vita Vea was playing, when they brought him back for the playoffs, did you see that man take one playoff? Anybody want to dispute that with me?
Well, no, he didn't take a playoff, but I'm not saying Shaq took plays off. I just don't think he got sacks. I think he got pressure.
Every down that man was in, motor was 100.
Hey guys, the reason why Jason Light, Sean, the reason why Jason Light brings Shaq Barrett into this defense is because he knows he has a Vita Vea at nose guard. He knows he has Devin White as a rookie at linebacker. He knows he's got other components of this defense. I don't know how many Vita Veas are in the NFL. I'm not saying Shaq can't bring the heat, and God knows he knows how to contain the corner. The guy plays his lanes. He's a veteran. I just don't know how many teams out there are looking and saying, well, we've got Joe Schmo. He's not Vita Vea, but he's close. We've got so-and-so at linebacker. He's not Devin White and Levante David, but he's close. We can bring Shaq Barrett in here. He's going to get off. We saw when Vita Vea was out for 10 games. Shaq still showed up, but Shaq didn't have anywhere the numbers that he had in 2019.
Okay, but here's where I go with that. You gotta understand, when we signed Shaq Barrett, we did not sign Shaq Barrett to come in here and beat Von Miller. We had no idea he was going to get 19 and a half.
Agree.
That's why we only signed him for $4 million, because we just wanted some kind of pressure.
Agree.
He just turned out to be like, whoa, you've been sitting behind Von Miller and
DeMarcus Ware and Bradley Chubb, right?
Yes.
Right.
And you got a chance to be the number one guy, and you showed out. And so here's the thing also I would tell you, and me and Spider got in these conversations a long time ago about a guy by the name of what was your guy name that was
we went down this long winding road. Hey, no, you hold on. With Robert Quinn, Mario Williams.
Hey, Robert Quinn?
Robert Quinn.
He stinks.
Well, but at the time, he was productive,
Y'all
was he
can
not?
have him out of Chicago.
The other guy had one double-digit sack season. I said, don't pay him like
who? Robert Quinn? He had more than one double-digit sack. You're drunk.
Robert Quinn, the guy that played in Miami, and he went to the Giants. And
Olivier Vernon. Well, he got paid by a lot of teams. He got paid. Right. Well, he got paid by the Giants. He got paid by the Browns. What's your point?
Well, the Browns traded for him. But
that's right.
Thing, though. You had to pay. They paid him that much, but he wasn't even that guy.
But that was the market, right? That's the point. He was the market. Okay, then.
But Shaq Barrett has proven to be much better than Olivier Vernon, and so he's worthy.
I agree.
Of the money.
I agree.
And so now, what the problem the Bucs have, the issue the Bucs have right now is there a team that's going to willing to say, well, you know what, Shaq, we will give you $25 million like you got Bosa making, or $23 million.
Yeah.
Like
all right, hold on. So if he comes back and the Jets offer him $23 million, are you telling me the Buccaneers should figure a way out to pay this man $23 million?
No,
you be quiet.
I'm not saying
just
that.
1 second. Okay. What would you pay him if you were Jason Light right now? What would you pay that man? What would be the most dollar you would pay him?
I would say right now he needs to get between $17 to $20 million a year, And I think that's what the Bucs need to. And I think that's what they're open to doing.
So you want to pay him that kind of money because of two reasons. Because 2 years ago he led the National Football League in sacks, and that last year he had a couple of really good games, but led the National Football League or was maybe top 3 in pressures, but not sacks. Am I correct? And you still want to pay him up to $20 million?
But to be fair here, how did he play in the playoffs in the Super Bowl?
That's the play.
He showed up.
That's the most. That's the key time. He showed up at the key time.
But Sean, hey, the thing is, Sean, you yourself said the Buccaneers bring him in on a 1-year, $4 million deal because they didn't know what they had. But why did they bring him in here? Again, Vita Vea.
Because we didn't have anything.
Well, because we had Vita Vea and Devin White and Levante David and Jason Pierre-Paul.
That's not why they signed him.
Well,
they
no.
signed him because we needed edge pressure.
Right.
And they said, and that guy, when he was behind people, he was getting 4 and 5 sacks a season.
And he was showing up.
If he gets an opportunity to play a little bit more, he could
12
be better. The
to
Bucs didn't know they were
15
signing a
million
19.5
max.
sack season.
I will bet you $50.
No, the Bucs should not sign him for more than 12 to 15 max.
What's the signing here? Let's make a bet. Let's make a
12
bet.
million?
Let's make a
You're
bet.
tripping now.
Hold on,
I said 15,
Hold
man.
on, Sean. Shut up for a minute, Sean.
15.
I was wanting to say that.
That's my. Don't tell my caller to
shut
shut up.
and be quiet. Harry the Greek. $12 to $15 million the Bucs pay?
That's what I think that all they should pay.
But do they pay that?
Well, yeah, if you can get him for $15 million,
They're not going to pay that. I'll make you a bet they don't.
Hey, listen,
they
man, my last name is Berg,
50.
okay?
Go ahead, Sean. Chris Godwin.
No, I was going to just say they're going to pay him more than that. He's going to earn more than that. There's going to be a lot of teams paying him more than that because you got a lot of teams right now who are clearing cap. And I know the cap is low this year, and they know next year is going to boom astronomically because we're going to have the new contracts with the TV deals and things of that nature. You're going to have people going back to games this year because of COVID. It's going to be high.
COVID.
So the Bucs.
What COVID?
If the Bucs don't pay him between 17 to 20 million, if they don't offer him between 17 and 20 million dollars, he's not coming back to the Bucs.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. That means the only reason why he wouldn't come back to the Bucs is if he didn't get an offer. Let's make that straight. He has to get an offer first, and the Bucs have first right of refusal. Correct?
Well, they don't have first right of refusal.
They
don't have first right of refusal. But what the Bucs are trying to work on right now, guys, is to get the deal done before the legal tampering period starts on Sunday.
That's right.
There you go.
And I'm here to tell you guys right.
And just don't disrespect him. Don't
I'm not,
give him $12 million like the Greek is talking about.
Well, no, I'm not disrespecting Shaq Barrett, but if he goes to a defense where he is the number one stud, if he goes to a defense
he
where
gets $20 million then.
If he's your top paid star, he's not going to have anywhere near the career year he had 2 years ago.
You're probably right, and that's the problem with free agency.
Right. You're probably right.
And here's the thing.
So that's got to be his call.
Here's what I'm saying here, Ray and Harry, is if J.J. Watt is worth what? $15 million a year?
$15 million.
Right. I think Shaq the last 2 years has played a lot better than J.J. Watt.
I agree with that.
J.J. Watt, better resume. So if I'm Shaq's agent, that's what I'm looking at. And I'm also looking at the fact of
I was the one that said I didn't want to see J.J. Watt come here to Tampa.
Well,
I thought that's a waste of money.
You have J.J. Watt come here on a 1-year deal, maybe like, $8 to $9 million if you can get it. Right. Sure. But no, I'm not paying him 2 years for, $15 million, 23 guarantee. No, but at the end of the day, guys, if they don't sign a Shaq, you're going to have to sign somebody else to that same type of money unless you get lucky. And look, the Bucs may get lucky. They may go on without a Shaq, and there may be a veteran defensive end that may be out there that we don't know. Carlos Dunlap, right? He's out there.
Talking about the Shaq. Honestly,
yeah.
I ate Chicken Shack today. Anybody ever?
How
have
was that? Was that good?
It's unbelievable.
Did you ever have Chicken Shack
Chicken
before?
Shack, never heard of it.
Chicken
Shack, Sean.
Chicken Shack is from Carrabba's actually.
Really?
Yes, it is. But people don't know that. You can't go there to go get it. They only deliver the food to you.
Nice.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. We're gonna have to get to these comments.
All right, yeah, we got to get to these comments, Sean. So what else? Really quick, and then we got to get you out of here.
Oh, okay. Hats off to the Bucs for getting Chris Godwin in here. He said he'll play for the. He'll play for the tag, so I'm very happy that he's back because I know I'm the president of the Chris Godwin fans.
Yes, you have posters all over your room, including a mirror.
Hey, hats off for bringing back Levante David. Levante David doing his thing.
That was their biggest signing.
You love that.
I think that's a big deal.
Okay.
And by the way, Brady's gonna restructure. Mike Evans going to restructure. Maybe we're going to get.
There you go. That's how they
restructure.
sign them.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's how they sign them. So
Yeah, and when we do that, guys, listen, your coach and your GM, and y'all said it was liquid courage, but at the same time, they knew what they were up against. They know how to manipulate that cap. We're going to get these people back, and you guys are going to be sitting here, and you're going to be saying we are the favorites to win.
look,
the Super Bowl
you must not
again.
watch my show. You must not watch
Don't
my
get
show
him
because
started, Don.
I have been saying since last March, Super Bowl or bust.
Oh,
I will say it
God.
again, Super Bowl or bust. They're going to be a better team than they were last year. And the majority of the players that everybody's talking about with the sky is falling, they're going to re-sign them because Mike Greenberg and Jason Light know exactly what they're doing. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a plan going forward. Good stuff there, Sean, the Sports Don. Appreciate you. Use your second call. All right, boss?
Hey, thanks, man. Thanks
All
for
right,
calling
y'all
in
have a
tonight.
good one, man.
All right, appreciate
Yes, sir.
you.
Y'all
I mean,
have a good one, man.
yeah.
Love y'all.
love you too, man.
Cheers, brother.
He really doesn't watch my show, though.
He's
He really
pretty good
does.
guy, man.
Yeah, he
He's
is
pretty good
good.
guy.
He's good. Curtis, I saw you call in. Definitely get on the phone line. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Go out to these comments. Let's read it.
All righty. Michael Martinez, who will be Miami's quarterback? We already read
I'm
that
hoping
one.
it's Deshaun Watson. That's what I'm hoping
I still don't
for.
think you give up on Tua, even though I think
I would.
they've
If
messed
I'm
him up.
if I have any doubts, guys, if I have any doubts or red flags about Tua at this point, and I think you could definitely make some, even with coming out of Alabama. Deshaun Watson, to me, makes the Miami Dolphins not only a playoff contender, but with that defense, possibly, as crazy as it sounds, a Super Bowl contender with Buffalo in that division.
With that defense, absolutely.
There
And
you
by
go.
the way, Jack, yes, it is Darnell Mooney. He's the wide receiver that I was talking about. Michael Martinez, why would you get rid of Shaq? Money is not a factor when you have an awesome defense.
Well, I mean, I think money is a factor if you don't have necessarily the money to spend, but we'll see. All right. I'll tell you what, we want to go out to the phone lines? Let's go out to the phone lines. Rick from the cheap seats, what's cooking in the South? Yeah, I got to ask you here, Rick.
What'd you have for breakfast?
Hey, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Pretty good,
Doing
brother.
good, man. How you doing?
We're
Chopping
having a
it up
very
tonight.
pretentious conversation here, Rick.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And the quietest one. It's funny. How backwards is this for me? The quietest one is the one I actually have to agree with, and that's Ray.
What?
What?
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
Was
let
that
me point
because he
out
said
something
Josh
about
Rosen
this.
a couple of times?
I did not say
Well,
that
it's
tonight.
kind of funny.
I did.
It's kind of funny here. I think it's an unusual situation because there's a flood of free agents. Supply and demand. You can get somebody else for less, so you don't have to. The market for Barrett is not going to be as high this year as it would be another year.
I agree.
I
Now,
don't.
The other thing.
So how come you don't agree with me?
Say is certain players are a fit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're just the right piece with the right team at the right time, and that's what Shaq Barrett is. I think. I mean, where I agree with Peter, they got to get this guy back.
Sure.
I mean, and to say that he only had pressures, or to say that his production dropped when Vea was not in there. Well, yes, his production dropped as far as sacks because they didn't send him like they did when Vea was there. He played an entirely different role during that time.
Not
So
true.
You can't compare it.
Nah, I got to
So,
disagree
that's-
with you there,
that's
Rick.
The thing is, pressures. The bottom line is he was screwing up passing attempts. Okay, he didn't cause the yardage loss as often, but he was making sure that those passes were not complete. There were interceptions because of his pressures. Those pressures count for something, and you can't just dismiss them.
Exactly. And if the quarterback is trying to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker, then of course you're going to cut down on the sacks. But, to Rick's point, they did have him out on coverage this year a little bit more than they did in the first year.
Well, and that's in his role as a linebacker, outside linebacker. But my point is, if you want your $20 million a year defensive end / linebacker, that's your Bosa. That's your healthy JJ Watt.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying, Rick, I agree with you that they had him playing a different role this year. But if you're talking about a lineman, defensive end, or a outside linebacker who plays lineman in a 3-4, that $20 million guy, I don't care if 5 or 6 guys on your defense are injured. He still gets in the backfield. He's still dropping quarterbacks, and he's still making his bones because that's what he's getting paid $20 million a year to do. He
played the different role only because Vea was hurt.
You can't say that, Rick.
Vea back, you're going to see Shaq Barrett back.
Right. And I think you saw that in
You
the
could say that-
playoffs.
you
And
could
you
say
saw
that about
that
a-
in the Super Bowl.
But you could say that about a plethora of defensive players and
But
defensive
still,
ends.
let's think this. Put this in perspective. People will say, "Well, his numbers are down because Vea wasn't there." Okay, but his pressures were up, so he still was giving effort. It's not like he's taking all plays.
I didn't say that.
Right.
But yeah, I did actually say
You did
that.
say
I'm just
that.
saying.
I did. I know I did say
You
that.
did say that.
I
So,
did actually say that.
What I'm saying,
He did take plays
at the-
off.
to me, he didn't take off any plays.
Sorry,
he still
guys.
got pressure. He still got
I don't
pressure.
think he took plays off at all. I think he
Not
played
the
his
same
role.
players he was back in 2019.
And possibly because NFL offenses
And
were.
he's not worth $20 million.
I guarantee you, he gets $18 to $20
He
million.
ain't getting my money.
You want to bet?
And if he does, he deserves
bet?
it. I just don't think, for the same reason why the Bucs brought him in here and he had success again with the players around him. If the Bucs want to get the warm and fuzzies and have all 53 back again next year, that's Jason Light's prerogative. Maybe Tom Brady and his saying personnel says that. Maybe Bruce Arians tells him to do that. But if he let the kid test the market, he's earned it. The kid earned it. Come up from behind DeMarcus Ware and behind Von Miller in Denver. He was a practice squad player at one time. This kid deserves to make his bones. If he goes out there and there's a team out there that needs to make a splash, needs to sell tickets, they want to get that big defensive end. He's not J.J. Watt. He's not Nick Bosa. He's not
He did sure as hell light it up in the playoffs.
That's
so.
cute, though. That's really
It's
cute.
I
I don't want him to test the market. I want to sign him so he doesn't test the market.
He's testing the market.
Let him test the market like you're doing him a favor. If you pay him and he says, "Hey, I'm not going to go," I'm good with that money.
Right.
You're doing him that favor.
Right.
So I mean, come on. It's not a matter of let him test the market because he's worked hard.
Oh my God, we're still pounding this narrative of Shaq Barrett.
Well, he's the biggest free agent that's still unsigned at the moment.
I know that.
I think a couple of days they get it done.
I call it a guess. Call it a listen. After the magic they did with Levante David, they're going. I don't know what kind of voodoo they're gonna do, but they're gonna do something, and everybody's coming.
Well,
back.
it's that Louisiana voodoo that they put on the Saints in the divisional championship game.
They're going to give him a $300 million contract with 17 voidable years. They're going to carry cap forward, right? But it's gonna give the kid respect. But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't see the Bucs paying him more than he made on his franchise tag this year, which was $15.5 million. I think that they'll make it look pretty because they don't want the kid to, you don't take a cut. Rick, you said last night on your show, you don't take a cut in salary. I get that. These players, they want to give them respect. I'm just saying that as the system goes, still with one eye towards the future for when TB does hang them up, and we still want to have a competitive team in 2024, we can only make so many guys look so good with those voidable, cancel, carry the cap, will spread your bonus over
New
the
Orleans
next 5 years.
has been doing it for years, man.
Sure, I mean,
look at what New Orleans
everybody
is doing today. Now they've cut literally half of the team. Now they're cutting Janoris Jenkins. They're cutting all their defensive guys.
They got screwed because not only did this happen. It all caught up to them in a year when the salary cap dropped dramatically. I mean, they got double slammed.
But they still got slammed, and I don't want to see Jason Light making that decision.
Oh, they're not. That cap is going to go up over $200 million next year.
Yeah, would you trade another Super Bowl or two for a bad decade?
Yeah, absolutely. Sell my soul to whoever.
Stop.
Whoever. You got to win now, my friend. You got to go all in.
Well,
Now, is that the way the Patriots did it? You don't sell your soul to the devil because you want to win a Super Bowl. You want to be really good and competitive for the next 20 years.
But Harry,
you're not. That's not realistic.
The Bears wouldn't have done it over the last 10 years.
That's not real.
Well, according to you guys and Rick Hughes, Tom Brady can play till he's 80.
Well,
how could you doubt him?
Hang on. Let me get my cane out, and I'm going to come out of the field.
Harry, name a time I've said anything remotely close to that.
Oh, you said 60. Sorry.
Hey,
I literally said 2, maybe 3 years. I mean, who knows if I was being a smartass and said something like,
well, we're all smartasses.
You know we're all being smartasses. It's all in fun.
Hey, guys, where are the Bucs in 3 or 4 years? We want to have a franchise quarterback. We're going to have Tristan Wirfs coming off his rookie contract. We're going to have Devin White coming off his rookie contract. We're going to have Vita Vea coming off his rookie contract. And we're going to have to say bye-bye to those guys because we're maybe not in the same position.
And you forgot about the victim A volume.
Well, he's a free agent.
But the thing is, maybe we're not.
Peter,
We're
you're
not,
all the victim I'll need.
guys.
Or volume. Is that what it was?
Shut up.
4 years from now, we're not.
me alone.
4 years from now, we're not in the same position to make a run at the Super Bowl.
I'm not ready to say that yet, right? Because I tell you right now, I think the cap is different. I think every year it's going up, and I think
I do too.
all the
And it's
talk
gonna
is
go way up.
yeah, all the talk is every year how the
It
Saints
depends.
are going to basically go down, and they never go down. There's been teams around the league that supposedly are in salary cap hell. I don't think it's different. I think the way people are doing contracts now with voidable years and spreading out salaries and stuff like that, bonuses, I think the Bucs can still be competitive. So
I do too.
but at the end of the day, you have Tom Brady who's leading this ship, and you want to do everything you can. So you got to put all.
matey.
That's it, and it's carpe
And guys,
diem, if you will.
That's true.
Live for the moment.
Next year's salary cap is going to be huge.
Exactly. So you take care of Chris Godwin next year. You take
Well,
care
doesn't
of
that depend on what gas prices are going to do, guys?
Will you shut up and be quiet?
For everybody out there that doesn't know who's on the phone line with us, that's Rick Hughes from Live from the Cheap Seats, as well as what's cooking in the South.
You didn't tell us what you had for dinner tonight.
Yeah, really, Rick. I don't want to know what you had for dinner, Rick. I want to know what you ate last night for dessert.
Oh,
Last night for dessert, I just had toffee cookies.
whoa, toffee cookies.
Did you make them
Did you
or
have
did you
milk
buy
with
them?
those?
Not.
Who,
No, I did not.
by the way, who eats cookies without milk? You got to have milk with them, don't you?
I do, and I hate it. We stopped buying milk in my house.
What are you,
maybe when I
vegan?
was 10.
No, it's a long story.
I like the Thin Mints from the Girl Scouts.
You can get those at like the Dollar General for like really cheap.
Bro, I don't get them from Dollar General. This is the Greek's house. They're sitting in my freezer.
Really?
Oh, my God.
What?
I got like packages
You
of
got
them.
milk?
No, not for you. No soup for you.
soup for me? I'm getting some afterwards. All
Rick,
right.
before you go, why don't you go ahead and promote yourself, bud?
Hey, just Saturday night, 8:30. I moved the shows up to 8:30. So Saturday night at 8:30, Sunday night at 8:30. That seems to have been working out well. So it's something I'm gonna at least stick with as long as I can. And I really appreciate it. This show, guys, is a lot of fun.
Well,
Hey,
I
man,
appreciate it.
thanks a
Thank
lot.
you
We
so much for
appreciate it.
calling in. If you have another question later, you feel free to give me a call, or if you want to argue with me a little bit, I actually like it. You know it, Rick.
I like when you guys argue, and then you guys can like make up afterwards.
Hey, Rick.
Well, when you're saying Shaq Barrett takes plays,
I wanna know who's over, who's under.
To argue.
Hey, Rick, can I be over and
had to
you're
go
under
there,
tonight?
didn't you? I knew you were gonna go
You knew I was
there.
going to go there.
Hey, Rick knows I'm over and you're under.
Will you shut up and be quiet?
Rick-
Why would you even say that?
Rick, take good care of my brother, okay?
Because he's great.
And,
That's it.
and
He's-
welcome to the Quiet Storm. See you later, Rick.
Good stuff,
Have a
Rick.
good one.
All right, man. Go ahead. Go.
I really had to do that
Yeah, I
with
know
Rick.
you did. I
Rick
know
is
you
pretty
did.
cool. What did you eat for dinner tonight, Ray? Oh, wait a minute. You haven't ate yet.
I haven't eaten.
But you know
Is
what?
that
I
why
have
you're so quiet
Hold on.
tonight?
I have
listening.
I have a really good Grecian style salad in there.
Grecian?
Oh yeah, it's really good. It's inside there.
I need the jumbo package. Ray.
Jumbo package.
That's what I need. I need that excitement.
You keep your hands above the table because you ain't touching no jumbo
Will you
packages here.
shut up and be quiet?
Michael
wasn't me.
Martinez, why would you get rid of Shaq? I already read that one. Tim Waterspoon. Oh, Johnny Dean.
Oh, here we go.
Hang on.
Here comes the miscreants.
Welcome to the evolution of the over and under. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Johnny Dean in Pittsburgh.
What's
going on,
happening,
Johnny?
Mr. Johnny Dean? I seen you called earlier. I'm sure you want to rip me apart about something. Go for it.
Oh man, are you you're not joking, but what are you talking about?
What did I miss anyway? You guys really stirred it
Face
up.
off, man.
Huh?
What are you talking about? You know that Jim and JPP were running a scheme where Shaq Barrett would flush everybody over to JPP, right?
Yes, I do, Johnny. You know I'm the chef of the poo-poo soup.
God.
And I could stir it up,
Yeah,
brother. I
Peter,
look,
I
man.
agree with you 100%,
Listen,
Peter.
I can
that
get
Shaq Barrett is probably going to sign a $17 to $20 million contract.
Oh, book
But it's
it.
not gonna be
No
Book it.
chance.
And I will
It's not
bet
gonna be
this
this
guy right now $100 on
Are you
it.
going to bet with your money or his money?
I'm betting with
Because
both
you
of
don't
our
have
money.
100 pennies to your
I
name.
got $100,
outta
buddy.
here.
I got money. I
You-
got the
Do you
mucho
understand?
dinero.
Do you understand what happens when you don't pay the Greek?
Oh, I'll pay you.
Look,
Okay,
the-
just take a look over here to your right.
Now is doing the same thing.
What? I didn't
Bucs
do
came in
anything.
here with the sixth most cap
You
space.
shut
If
up.
we can't
He's my
afford him
collector.
to pay him like that, these guys aren't either.
Exactly.
The quarterbacks are the only ones getting paid big money. This
Right,
year.
right.
Big money will be paid out next year.
Yeah, and I think again, you
Johnny's
go back.
fired up.
He is, and that's okay because he's a defensive guy also. And you look at Shaq, and yes, I get what you're saying. I understand it, but I definitely think the market will be out there. And it only again takes one team And whether you get rid of a Shaq, if you don't get one of these cheaper options, but even if you do get a cheaper option, it doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be as productive as Shaq. So you kind of take that risk that your defense takes a step back. You don't want to have that happen because you still have the Green Bay Packers. You have the Seattle Seahawks, possibly the Chicago Bears. You've got the Rams. You've got teams in the NFC that have good quarterbacks, and it's all predicated on that pressure. So you're going to get a Matt Judon. You're going to get a Bud Dupree. You're going to get one of these players out there. You're going to have to pay that value because that's what the market is.
Out there, you said his name. The only one out there that plays in a similar defense as this would be Judon.
Yep.
Dupree, the Steelers have gone away. They're playing more of a 4-3 defense, and that would fit somebody like McCoy. Which I'm so tired of hearing people.
Oh, geez.
Oh, he's coming.
No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is.
Oh, he's not.
No, he is not, Harry. He don't even play in this defense well. That's why they got rid of him.
Exactly. He doesn't fit the defense. I mean, he can want to come here all day long, but he doesn't fit the defense. There's a reason why the organization got rid of him.
He's a good guy. He still has his house here in Florida. He's got his family here. His kids go to school here. He's cheaper than Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, when you want to play a violin? I mean,
help me out here, Ray.
Like here. Ray, you're quiet, bro. You're scaring me.
I'm
over
hungry.
Here. Well, you need to eat. Order a pizza.
No. I already got his food. It's in there.
Well, go and get it. Oh, well, you can't. You got to do a show. That's what happens.
Peter,
yes.
Remember that question you used to ask people when they were trying to defend McCoy?
Yes, please.
Name a splash play from McCoy.
Name a splash play that he made. Besides flopping down on a Matt Ryan at the end of the game, maybe once.
Or dancing on the sideline.
Yeah, dancing when they're down by 11.
You know, you guys are very hateful.
And Quan Alexander got cut today. You want to bring him back? Let's go ahead and bring them all back. Let's bring the guys back that cause the defense to be god-awful.
You know, you should
with
really
your boy
show
Lovie
some love.
Smith.
Lovie Smith?
Yeah, Lovie
Leave
Smith.
that name out of your mouth.
Lovie Smith.
Okay.
Lovie Smith, Lovie Smith, Lovie Smith. The defense was
Hang on.
terrible.
It still works.
Terrible with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It still works.
What'd you do?
Hey, you said Lovie Smith 3 times.
Well, what did you do?
It's
What
just
happened?
like never mind. I'll tell you later. Want to see Jumbo Package?
It's not even 10 o'clock yet, guys. It's only 9:59.
Listen to you, Mr. Prude. All right, go ahead, Johnny Dean.
Mr. Prude.
I want to see Ray smile over there. He looks like he's been with
Ray looks like he's been burning one tonight.
It was a long night at UPS.
I know how you all guys feel because I had to deal with idiots all day long on the phone, and I'm talking about real life idiots telling me shut the F up, do this, do that, and I swear there's like a moment where I want to hang up on you, and then I get to this show, and it's like all I got to do is push the button, they're gone. I mean, they could be a jackass to me, and I could be a jackass back, but they're gone. That's amazing.
So, Johnny, do you still love me, or
wait a minute, Harry? I'm disagreeing with Peter about something.
Oh, okay, go ahead. You got the floor now.
Peter, 20 years is not unrealistic. Teams build franchises that last and stay relevant, and that's what this team needs to do. I don't want another. I want my kids and my grandkids to be proud of this team.
Well, look, I think what people are kind of looking at is the model of the New England Patriots, and that's kind of unrealistic. It's amazing at the same point.
Model of the Steelers
and
teams that are staying relevant.
Well, you have to draft well. It's not. I agree. And if you get rid of a Tom Brady and you have to draft a quarterback or go with a veteran quarterback, you still have to draft well. You still have to make the right moves in free agency. You can't go over the cap, so you definitely have to keep it, but you have to make the right moves.
You have to build a foundation and depth.
But at this point, my point is it's always been this. If you got a Tom Brady, you got all the plethora, Leo word, of weapons, and I did say it right. If you got all that, you have to put it all in at the center of the table. Take these next 2-3 years. I have faith in this organization. I have faith in Jason Light and Mike Greenberg that they're going to make the right moves and not put this team in cap hell.
100%. Okay. They haven't made a mistake yet so far.
Okay. Well, not so far.
I do think the next 2 years with Brady here that they're going to be the talk of the Super Bowl. They're going to be talked about as Super Bowl contenders every year with him here, and maybe later, after he's gone.
Absolutely, agree.
Yeah, especially if we get Josh Rosen back.
There you go, Josh Rosen. You gotta love it. Gotta love it. So,
hey man, thank you so much for calling, Johnny. I'm going to get back to the comments now.
Yeah, good stuff, Johnny Dean, the professor. Appreciate you. All right.
Thanks, buddy. Call back if you like.
Bye-bye.
Busy phone line tonight.
Yes,
busy phone line.
You didn't think anybody was going to call.
Well, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It's the evolution of the over-under. Harry the Greek, yours truly, along with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, Cup of Ray. What do you say over there, Tampa Bay Ray?
Hey,
yes.
hey.
Oh, my God, man.
Tim Wotherspoon, how can anyone know when it seems like they don't know either?
What was that?
Sound like Aristotle.
What do you do? What are you guys? You guys going all Plato on me here?
Who knows?
We got Curtis.
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 Tell Curtis to hold for a minute. God, you can talk.
All right. So I'll tell you what, Curtis, hold the line. Don't say nothing, okay? We're going to go ahead and read these comments. Go ahead. Read those comments.
Michael Martinez, a good system needs a good player, without question. Adam Padermo, Harry, would it even strike your interest if Matty Ice joins the Bears? Just curious. Very, very curious. You know what? Actually, Matt Ryan would fit that system.
I think he's done.
No, I do too, but he actually fits that type of system because they don't want to run in quarterback in Chicago.
You know what you could see, and I'm wondering what's going to happen with Jimmy Garoppolo. If Jimmy Garoppolo gets cut, then could you see Matt Ryan joining Shanahan there in San Francisco, maybe Atlanta pulling the trigger on the trade?
You know what? I'm going to give my first over and under on that. I'm going to go over.
Over?
Absolutely.
I definitely
I'm going to definitely go over on that one. That's a hell of a.
Because to me, I was listening to
Josh Rosen's a starting
another radio show, and they were
Josh
talking
Rosen
about,
could be.
They were talking about San Francisco and how they were evaluating Brady last year, and they were saying, can this guy make us better? And they basically came to the conclusion that yes, he can make us better, but Jimmy Garoppolo, we've invested. He's younger. He's still making throws. Big mistake by them. I think they're looking back at it.
We got some pretty smart comments coming up here.
Okay.
Michael Martinez, love Leftwich as a head coach. That wasn't the smart one.
Stop it.
Oh, I agree, Harry. I think Tom brought the offense together. He made them believe they'd win when it mattered. See, I told you there's some smart people out
Look,
here.
I'm not saying Tom didn't, but also Byron catered that offense to Tom Brady and their strengths on that offense. Will we agree? I mean, where do you stand on this? Is it Byron Leftwich for you or Todd Bowles once Bruce Arians walks off into the sunset with another Super Bowl?
Oh, I think Byron Leftwich, he's really got the groove.
See, there you go.
He got the groove, but then it took him a little time to get adjusted to what Tom Brady wanted to see called.
Byron got his groove back, right?
Byron got his
groove back. Yeah. Adam Padermo Rivera, Bert Emanuel needs to join the Bucs coaching staff. Peter, beware, because Harry will tell you in the 2000 NFC Championship against the Ram, it wasn't a catch.
It was a catch. You know why? Because the NFL changed the rule the year afterwards.
Hold on. I agree. It was a catch. Chill, man. Adam, where'd you get that from? I have
no
idea.
That game bothers me still to this day.
Me too. Michael Martinez. Tampa needs a good quarterback besides Brady. Need to look ahead. Got to get a good vet or a 2-year on a takeover. I've been talking about that I think every great football team.
Blaine Gabbert.
No.
They love Blaine Gabbert.
I
loves Blaine Gabbert.
No, you understand what I'm saying. I think I think a really good team should draft a quarterback every single year just to see what you have.
So you're going with Trask? I mean, if that's what
Nobody. I'm not talking. Check how Trask's going to go in the first 3 rounds. I'm talking about a late round draft pick.
Okay.
I mean, where you're wasting it on something out there that why not kick some rust off and see what you got there.
It's been talked about.
Tim Wotherspoon. Following up and agreeing with Harry, I also agree. You see, I like this guy, Tim. Tim, you should call in sometime. I also agree with Peter that I don't like you anymore. That Byron will be the next head coach here in Tampa. Roger Shue, my hero.
Well, the guy that owes me barbecue, by the way, you fat finger troll. You owe me barbecue. Say it on camera. You need to call.
You're crying like a little sissy.
Oh, I'm just pointing it out. He owes me barbecue.
Harry, my pal, check out Paul's Chicago Pizza on McMillan Booth, Pets Pizza in Florida. Actually, they are pretty good, but there's also another good Chicago place. Do me a favor, get my phone number from Peter. I'm going to take you to dinner. Peter can pay his own way because he's been picking on me today.
Well, I tell you what, we'll all go out to dinner here on Bucs Report, all the over-under guys, and Harry, you can pay. Or Roger can pay, right?
Yeah, one of us.
Yeah, you got the money.
God. I'm not buying.
Michael Martinez.
I would if I could.
Henry Keep Jones is number 1. Gary Ivick, my boy up there in Atlanta. By the way, I tell you about Gary before?
You did, and he's a Philly fan. What I'm wondering is, with them trying to build around a Jalen Hurts, are you comfortable with them building around a Jalen Hurts?
I like Jalen Hurts.
How many
you
years?
You were big about him, too.
I like him, but I still think Carson Wentz, he's removed, 2 years removed from being an MVP, and all of a sudden he's not in the good graces of the organization. They fire the coach and they get rid of the quarterback. What? Curtis, hold on a minute. Why not just get rid of the quarterback and keep the coach on? I'm not sure about this new head coach and how many years it's going to take Jalen Hurts to be a quality quarterback.
I told you this guy was my friend. He don't know even what he's talking about.
What do you say?
Leftwich will be Arians' replacement. Bowles is well respected throughout the NFL ownership. His defense won the Super Bowl, and he fits the the new head coach initiative. How? He didn't do it before when he was a Jet, Gary.
Well, that's my point, though. He's a better defensive coordinator than a head coach.
Because, listen, man, a lot of people are better because of Tom Brady.
There's some guys that are better as defensive coordinators.
You guys need to put the pipe down. I'm serious. I'm telling you, it's getting pretty bad. You're the one that
gave it to me.
Oh, Jesus. Tim Witherspoon.
Wait, there's a pipe?
If Cleveland and Jersey are if Cleveland and Jersey are the armpits, Florida's the mullet of America.
Wow. That's terrible.
Amen. Michael Martinez. Johnny Dean. Bowles is the current assistant head coach. That's not true. It really doesn't matter if a head coach is a great DC or an OC. An HC strength is networking. They have to be well connected in order to draw the best staff to them. Roger Shue. Harry, put down the water. You need an old style. They don't know what old style is, but I'll tell you who would appreciate an old style is my man over here, Mr. Best of the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray. I'll get you one someday.
Old styles for old guys.
Michael, no, it isn't. Michael Martinez. The weapons have always been there. Just needed a good quarterback. You can. Leftwich ? We're getting Lincoln Riley.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lincoln Riley should be he's always a hot commodity to me, and I don't know why he doesn't have a head coaching job yet besides getting that money, but eventually Riley is going to fill that itch, and he's going to have to scratch it in the NFL. What he's done with quarterbacks with the Baker Mayfield, a Kyler Murray, you look at it, Jalen Hurts, one of his guys, you got to kind of feel eventually he's going to get a head coaching job and somebody's going to hit the jackpot.
Yep. Michael Martinez, Todd Bowles will be the next head coach of the Bucs. Gary Ivick, Josh Rosen can't spell cat. If you spotted him, see. Hold on, I can't even read this one.
That's your boy.
Oh,
I'm
my
not
God.
saying anything.
Josh Rosen can't spell cat. If you spotted him, the C and the T, he will never be able to read a defense. Oh,
that's
Gary.
terrible. I'll tell you right now, 49ers like him a lot. I mean, to be fair to Ray, I mean, I know Ray
Gary.
likes him, but
Gary, seriously, bud.
I think he's got potential.
Seriously.
I just think he's got a.
You tormented me for almost 2.5, 3 years. Say it with us. Josh Rosen. Now look down. If it still works, he's good.
Jeez. That's what it is. I got it. It's
Doing
okay.
that to me.
And you shut up.
Giselle.
Tim Witherspoon couldn't play dead in the John Wayne movie.
Who's that?
Who knows? KC doesn't make the team any worse. Okay. Gary Ivick. Gerald McCoy could help the team for a team-friendly deal. You see, Gary's being back to being smart again.
I mean, look, maybe a team-friendly deal, but I was kind of talking to somebody the other night about this, Brent Allen, where he made this great point. Gerald McCoy was the leader of this locker room, and now you're bringing him back in this locker room, and you're expecting him to take a seat back to these other guys. And remember,
JPP, why would he have to take a seat? Now, if he comes back, you got to get rid of Ndamukong, and I'm a piece of garbage Sue.
Sue has been very productive, and it's the reason why he's their number one rushing defense in the NFL. And they picked Sue over McCoy in the first place because Sue fits the defense over a McCoy.
Well, you guys know Sue has twins. I mean, they may even be born right now. Have you noticed that he has not been one to say, I'm back?
I didn't mean to call Sue a piece of garbage. I just don't like him from his days in Detroit and what he did to Jay Cutler. Sorry.
Okay, well, that's fair. I mean, he's somewhat of a dirty player on the field, but I think he's kind of curtailed that with his play on the field at this point.
Johnny Dean. No, McCoy was okay in a 4-3 scheme, but is not good enough versus the run to play in a 3-4, especially like the Bucs run.
I agree.
Michael Martinez, Shaq's a good player, but there are other players that can do better. Tim Witherspoon, Shaq has the highest sack total in the past 2 years of 31 to 31.5. But I agree, he needs to play behind the defensive line to be as effective as he has been.
Yeah.
Johnny Dean, not this season. It isn't his market right now. In this season is about what he made last season, around 15 to 16 mil. Next season, he could cash in.
David I still think he gets more.
I totally agree with you, Harry. See another good guy out there.
Well, you got some guys. You got a fan club developing.
Have any questions? Give us a call. 727-255-0391. 727-255-0391. I'm your host, Harry the Greek, with Mr. Tampa Bay. Hey, what do you say, Kennedy? And
yours truly, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about.
Yeah, he's giving me something to think about tonight.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to be bowing out here pretty soon. I am sorry.
You
I'm going
all
to
right?
help you tear it down. Yeah, I'm just not feeling well.
Sorry, man.
He's tired.
Stomach problems.
No. It's Giselle. No, I'm really dead tonight.
Disclaimer.
I had a really rough night tonight.
Yikes.
So
Oh.
if we're
Did
gonna
you?
call it, if we're gonna have a quick show here, I'll be around.
You know what I'm going to do? I am going to take a 30-second break, folks. And don't go anywhere.
All right, we're back on the
Ray went swimming.
Yes, he did. We threw him in the pool there to wake him up. So
You can just shut the switch off.
Yeah,
there you go, buddy.
There you go, bud.
Ray's a good guy. I'm really glad he was able to come on tonight. We kind of look a little funny in the screen, but
We don't look funny
don't-
in the screen. You look funny in the screen. Your face looks funny.
Buddy,
in the
I
screen.
always look good in the screen.
Will you just go ahead and read these
Will you
comments?
shut up already. Let's go back to the real one. I totally
Yes.
agree with you, Harry. Can you say that?
I totally agree with you, Harry.
All right, thank you. I feel
You'll
better.
never hear me say that. though.
Johnny Dean, Shaq is the number one in sacks the last 2 years, including payoffs. David, playoffs?
Playoffs? Yes.
Yes,
How
Jim.
good? How good was he? How good was he?
He was a stud this year. in
That's
the
what I'm saying.
playoffs.
How
Oh
good
my
was he
God,
against
was
Patrick
good.
Mahomes? You want to see that go to another team? Keep it up.
Yep. David Mosier, I think Barrett's a one-hit wonder. David Mosier. To me, pressures are almost like making the tackle. And if that's the case, Chris Conte could have been the highest paid safety in the National
Totally
Football League.
different there, genius.
Not much different.
Chris,
Yeah, there was.
no, please. Chris Conte got trucked. His career is over with. Come
Oh
on.
my God.
Shaq was a force last
Yes, he
year.
was. Johnny Dean, again, pressure is moving the quarterback off his spot and making the wide receivers move from their routes to adapt to a lane. Absolutely correct. Chris Williams, and spend the first pick on an edge rusher might be able to get by if they can't keep Barrett. I can agree
But
with
here's
that.
the thing. Get by. That right there, that statement right there, get by. Let me tell you something about all these edge rushers in the draft this year.
There aren't many.
They're the developmental guys.
This is
They're
probably one of the
potential.
worst. This is
Joe
probably the one of the worst.
Tryon, Ojulari from Georgia. A lot of these guys are just developmental. Let's go out to
Curtis.
Curtis. Yeah, Curtis.
Hi, Curtis. So sorry to keep you on hold like that, buddy. Welcome to the evolution of the over and under.
Love it.
What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
What's going
Curtis?
on, man? You got to pump it up a little bit here.
Oh, I'm sitting here watching Star Wars. I'm just chilling.
What the heck are you doing that for?
Actually, I want to get in on this Shaq Barrett talk. Xbox Falls.
Okay, go for it.
So I kind of agree with both of y'all.
Oh,
look at that.
See, I like this.
Being
agree
diplomatic.
that The Bucs are going to offer him. No, well, just hear me out.
Okay, all
The
right.
Bucs are going to offer him between 17 and 20 million. I can agree with
That's
that.
a lot of money, man.
But I also believe there's always that 1, 2, maybe 3 teams that are going to overpay him, and money talks and bullshit walks.
Without question.
Mm.
Is it after 10? Can he say BS?
He can.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll allow it if
Oh,
it
okay.
pleases
I
the.
apologize.
If I'll allow it
But,
if it pleases the court. Judge Harry.
Listen, like I said, me and Peter had this talk the other night. Dak Prescott got his money. I'm happy that he got his money, but it wasn't worth it.
That man got paid, bro.
He wasn't worth it.
That man got paid. $41 million a year with 100+ guaranteed. That man got paid.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to tell you right
And-
now,
and-
that was a lot of money. And in 2 years from now, it won't be considered a lot of money.
Absolutely. Well, and see, here's another thing. I have to say this. If DeMarcus Lawrence is worth $100 million, I could see giving Shaq Barrett $100 million.
much more productive player, to tell you the truth. Much more
Absolutely.
productive than a Lawrence. And
He's
Lawrence has been
absolutely.
disappointing.
System player, buddy. System player. Be
Ah,
careful. Be
Yeah,
careful.
well, yeah, and somebody said that, but here's the thing. If it doesn't matter if you're in the system or not, if you're great like you are supposed to be, it shouldn't matter what kind of system that you're in.
It's a good point. I mean, you could say the same thing about Jerry Rice. He's in the system. He's in a West Coast offense. Joe Montana's in a West Coast offense.
But
He's
he
a
went
system.
but Jerry Rice went to The Raiders.
The Raiders, totally different system.
Still productive.
Very productive.
Absolutely.
We can't.
Joe
Absolutely.
Montana
Randy
took the
Moss-
Chiefs to the
Randy
AFC
Moss
Championship
went
game.
Let's.
Randy Moss went from Minnesota to Oakland, and he was who was he in Oakland?
Do you
Nobody even knew who he
understand?
was.
Do you understand? You just now compared Shaq Barrett to arguably two of the best receivers ever to put on a football uniform.
I'm just comparing potential greatness to greatness. That's all it is.
Okay.
That's not the same greatness, though.
Well,
no, it's absolutely not the same greatness because there will never be another Randy Moss. There will never be another Jerry Rice. But what I'm saying is Shaq Barrett has the potential to be a great player.
sure.
It has to happen.
Listen, I never said he
And,
wasn't a great player.
The Bucs have been guilty of letting somewhat great players walk out the door.
Right. Keep Talib called. LeGarrette Blount called. They wanted to know what you guys were talking about because he basically the
Michael
Bucs.
Bennett,
Michael Bennett.
I remember when he
Michael
walked-
Bennett is the haunting story of the reason why you cannot get rid of a Shaq Barrett.
We let Michael Bennett go, and we kept Adrian Claiborne and Daquan Bowers.
Who, by the way,
Are
just
you
got
kidding me?
cut. Just got cut. Claiborne, a former first-round pick for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I remember Steve White on, and I used to work for 1010 AM, CBS Sports Radio. He used to come on there, and he used to go into long diatribes about who was the best pass rusher, and people would say, this guy. And look, at the time, the Bucs didn't have a lot of pass rushers, but he would always say Michael Bennett was the guy. He just needed to be given a chance. He just needed to be developed. And the Bucs and Mark Dominic, in their grand wisdom, decided to get rid of him because they thought his shoulder was hurt. He went to Seattle, and the rest is history. You know how good Michael Bennett was. He was with the Bucs.
Absolutely.
Extraordinary player.
That's the reason why you don't want him
He was an
in
extraordinary
a Barrett
player.
to go somewhere else because you don't want him to be like a Michael Bennett, right?
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
I believe that if the Bucs offer him enough, he will stay. But I also believe that if he gets offered a ridiculous amount, that he's out of here.
Hey, you maybe.
He's gonna have to be, man. I mean, let's be real, Curtis.
It's sad to say that, but I mean, he has to take care of his family. He has to do what's best for his family.
Sure.
How much money?
The guy has 2 Super Bowl rings. A lot of people play football to win Super Bowl rings. Okay, Harry, don't chew me alive. Remember Nate Solder
Yes.
for New England?
Yes, sir.
He left New England and went to the Giants, and the Giants paid him all that money, and he was terrible for them.
I mean, and Curtis, that would be
cashed in.
Curtis. That would be a reason where I go back to Bruce Arians' comments.
So hold on, Curtis. Who do you blame? Do you blame the player at that point, or do you blame the team that paid him?
You blame them both because
I don't fault the player, man. I'm on the player side.
The player's going to get paid.
I'm going to give you my truthful answer because this is simply how I am. They're both to blame because it's a business.
That's right.
Amen.
They made the offer. He signed it. They're both to blame.
Well, look, the Giants thought they were going to get the Nate Soldier that was in New England. And
Correct.
Nate knew that he was going to get paid because the Giants were basically a bad team and they were desperate at that point. And that's where Shaq has to come to some type of decision for him. Does he want to get paid? Does he really want to break the bank, or does he want to get paid good money to be with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and possibly win another Super Bowl? Because you know what a better thing than 2 Super Bowls is? 3. And he has an opportunity to win it more than anybody else.
The hardest Super Bowl to win is the one you're just coming after.
I agree. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
They have a state tax. How much is their state taxes every month? How much money is he going to have to pay for state taxes?
Exactly, and I think that definitely factors.
You know
into
what?
it.
When you start talking $18 to $20 million, Curtis, it really don't make no damn difference.
I think it makes a difference in Florida. Florida does because there's no state tax.
You don't have to make as much money in Florida because they're not going to take the state tax. And honestly, that's why Florida teams notoriously don't overpay for players, because of the fact that they don't have to, and they can take that into consideration.
Exactly. So you could pay somebody 20. You could pay $24-25 million somewhere else, and you could pay about 18 to 19, and it'd probably be about the same because there is no state tax. But again, it comes down to Bruce Arians' comments at the beginning of this free agent period, before the free agent period has started. If we can get close, we feel like we can get our guys in, and I feel like that's where the organization has to go. If they can get close, then you sell him. You sell him on the fact that he knows the defense. You sell him that he doesn't have to go to another defense. You sell him on the fact that he gets to play around JPP and a Vita Vea and an Ndamukong Suh and a Devin White.
I don't have to cry because we re-signed Levante David. Thank
Right.
God for that.
Right.
And I'm really glad we gave Chris Godwin the franchise tag because I believe that kid was going to get $20 million from somebody.
Of course. And
Oh,
that's
yeah,
the
he
reason
was.
why you had to franchise him at $16 million.
He was getting
Somebody
paid.
was going to give that kid
Of
$20
course.
million. And his wife was going to be like, yeah, I love Florida, but we love that dough too.
Oh, you know what? You love Florida? Okay. How about the Miami Dolphins? Oh, yeah, we'll pay you down here. We'll get to a weapon. How about the Jacksonville Jaguars? We got Trevor Lawrence, young man. We got Urban Meyer here. He likes to throw the ball over the lot. Of course. So,
Yeah.
But again, that's the reason why you had to franchise him. And, people, every person telling me, well, you got Tyler Johnson, you got Scotty Miller. I felt like it was in a Rays flashback, right? You get rid of Blake Snell, you get rid of Charlie Morton, you replace them with some veterans and young guys,
Chris
and you go,
Archer.
and you say, oh, we hope that they can duplicate the value. No. I go back to the Casino movie, okay? Take no chances at that point. Why take the chance?
Absolutely.
24-year-old wide receiver, highly productive, great attitude, nothing off the field. Hell, he met his girlfriend. His girlfriend was there for him. You could see it. They're on board with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so be on board with it and take care of the contract of the young man next year.
Here's the big thing. Here's the biggest thing of all right here. And I feel like one of the things that people also don't look at. When you're a competitor and you lose and you start winning, you don't want to go back to losing.
I agree. I mean, why you started winning, you were losing when you came with the Bucs. You've progressively gotten better every year, and now you're in a winning atmosphere. You have a great offense. You have the greatest quarterback of all time. You have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and you want to go to the friggin' Jets, or you want to go to the Jaguars?
How about this? This is for Harry. Because I feel like I already know what Peter is going to say, but I want to ask Mr. Harry this question.
Go for it, Curtis.
Putting you on the spot here.
Houston is a dumpster fire. Let's just say that, correct?
I did agree with that.
Okay. What makes Jacksonville even better? How many all-star first-round picks have they gotten rid of?
They've gotten rid of a
3 or
lot of
4
them.
years.
Listen, and I'm going to go on record saying this. Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer are there to sell tickets. Let me be the first one to say this out loud. I have never been a big backer of Trevor Lawrence. He's not the next Indianapolis quarterback. What was his name?
Andrew Luck.
He's not the next Andrew Luck.
I'm not ready to say that yet.
He's not. But they're actually telling us that this is the best thing since Andrew Luck. He's better than Andrew Luck. He's not. Okay? He's not. His footwork is weird. His delivery is slow. He's throwing it from Kansas and across Oklahoma and across his body. The guy's got mechanical issues. Is he a winner? Yes.
You can't put a price on that. He's a winner.
He's a definite winner.
But is he going to win with the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I want to tell both of you guys something.
Sure.
This is my God honest opinion.
Yeah.
I called Cleveland taking Baker Mayfield. I just didn't know why, but I felt like Cleveland was going to take Baker Mayfield. They fell in love with that guy that year.
Well,
There's something about Urban Meyer. He's very loyal to his players.
To a fault.
I could see him taking Justin Fields.
No way. No,
I can see that.
No, I say no way. There's no way.
If they were smart, they would.
He knows this kid, Peter.
Oh, he's not taking. He's not taking Justin Fields. Don't buy into
Curtis,
it.
time out. They're not going to take him, even though that's the right move.
Well, there's some people out there that would say Zach Wilson is the right move at this point.
All
over
three of
Justin
them are really
Fields.
good. This goes back to 4 years ago when Mitchell Trubisky, Pat Mahomes, and Deshaun Watson were coming out of the draft. 2/3 of the teams in the National Football League had Mitch Trubisky ahead of both of those quarterbacks.
Which you don't understand because at the time
He only had
Watson was
11
a winner.
games. Watson was a winner. Trubisky only played in 11 games.
Right.
In the
and
senior
you
year.
had Patrick Mahomes who
And
had
you
over
Patrick
90
Mahomes
touchdowns.
Yeah. Okay, I mean that's what I don't get. But I do agree with you on that.
You can't overthink it though. That you're making the point here. Trevor Lawrence is a winner like a Deshaun Watson at Clemson,
Man,
and whether
he's a winner.
But listen to me.
He
Peter,
can make all the throws. I mean, it's not like this.
He's not as good as
there is
Deshaun
a
Watson.
comfortability factor. Do you think, man? Okay, let's use Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Kyler Murray, and
That's
what's
a
his
bad
coach's name
example.
out there in Arizona.
Well, look, he's had some success. I mean, 26 touchdowns last year. He got hurt at the end of the year, so now you kind of have some doubts about what he's going to do. But again, you got to build an offense around him, and that's the reason why Urban Meyer went to the Jacksonville Jaguars to coach, because you get an opportunity to have a Lawrence.
To sell the crap out of tickets in Florida.
I think it's going to take a while.
Because of Urban Meyer.
I have my doubts about Urban Meyer. If he can come in and be a good coach for Jacksonville, you're exactly right. It's a dumpster fire, but it's not as big as a dumpster fire as Houston, because you don't even have a quarterback there. You don't even know if your quarterback doesn't want to play there.
Well, I hate to say this. No, actually, I don't hate to say this because you know how much I hate the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
But within the next 3 years, they're going to be a dumpster fire.
Oh, Ezekiel Elliott is just done.
Wait a minute, man. Listen, Dak Prescott just got paid. The people in the United States and across the world have already anointed this team that they're winning the Super Bowl next year. And every time I hear it, I go to the betting windows.
I asked Peter this Monday,
and I bet under every year.
I asked Peter this on Monday, Harry. What other NFL team do you know that has 4 players that are making $100 million?
I don't know many. I don't know many, and that's the problem, because you put so much of a value on it.
And then you look at it. I know Jalen Smith just got like $55-60 million like 2 years ago.
It's ridiculous.
The offensive line, everybody on the offensive line is making at least $60-70 million.
Yeah.
Hey, Curtis, someone's posing a question on the chat board here. I want to go ahead and read it to you because I want your answer on it, okay?
Talk to me.
From Jeremy Mixon. Do y'all think that they're going to bring Antonio Brown back?
Yeah.
Why?
And him and Gronk are going to come back, and they're not going to take a lot of money because of Brady.
He's exactly right. Brown is definitely going to return because there's not a market.
I see something a little different here.
What do you see different?
That's a very simple question.
I think honestly that you see Gronkowski wasn't part of the question here. It was strictly Antonio Brown. I can see Gronkowski coming back because that's his safety blanket. Honestly, it's almost like a kid's whoopee. Okay, let's be real.
Fair enough.
Antonio Brown, he's gonna command a paycheck. Okay,
I don't think so. I don't think he's got enough value.
But there's still a lot of teams in the league that are afraid to touch him.
Exactly, and that's why I think he'll work with Tampa, and he also wants to be on this team with Brady. He'll do everything he can. He made an impact last year, but not the same player as he was. Right.
He's still one of the best route runners in football.
I'm thinking this far ahead, but I'm thinking ahead to next year's free agency. And you know how everybody's talking about the money that we're going to have next year. You have to pay Carlton Davis next year.
Well, you have to pay Carlton Davis. You're going to have to pay eventually Vita Vea. You're going to have to pay a Devin White. And we all know when White was drafted out of LSU,
Devin White's
he wanted to be the first $100 million linebacker. So, I mean, look, you got good problems coming. You get talented players. You win. You got to pay. You got to pay the piper. You're going to have to pay him.
But
so
going back to it, yes, I agree with both of you guys. I believe that the Bucs are going to offer him 17 to 20 million, but somebody always offers somebody a ridiculous contract.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
Look. The Redskins offered Amari Cooper 110.
Did he just say the R word?
Oh, he did. He said yes.
You said the R word?
It's the Washington football team.
Don't you understand how many people that offends?
It's a Washington football team.
I can't. I apologize.
Hey, Curtis. It's the same organization that offered Albert Hainsworth nearly 100. What did they offer him? Over $100 million?
All I wish is I was still an athlete and I made it to the NFL and Washington wanted to pay me, man. That's what I wanted.
Exactly.
Curtis, what else you got, brother?
And can we please sign Ryan Suckup today or tomorrow?
Oh my God!
Ray was about to jump in the pool after we didn't say they were going to sign him. I mean, he was ready to jump off the roof. So yeah, definitely.
No,
Curtis,
they need to go on and sign. They need to go on and sign Suckup back and stop playing.
I really appreciate you calling in the show tonight, Curtis. It's always a pleasure. You can call into my show anytime, brother, because you really know how to bring it. Anything else, brother?
Hey, I tried to a little bit, man.
Hey, do me a favor. Let me hear them rocks jingling in that glass.
No, man, I'm smoking a joint from.
There you go. There's my brother right there. Curtis, you have yourself a really good night, man. Thanks for calling the over and under.
Love that Curtis, man. Love him, man. He's my favorite.
Take care, brother.
Favorite web heads right there. Curtis from
He's
Newport
a really
Richie.
good guy.
Yeah. Read these comments and then we'll get out to the Prodigy there.
Yep. Oh, look who it is. Actually, I'm going to bring the Prodigy in.
Well, let's read the comments
All
first
right.
and then we'll go to the Prodigy.
Christopher Cole. Hey, what's up, everyone? Sorry I'm late. Andrew. Ray looks like a Canadian right now. Is it snowing, Ray? Johnny Dean.
Oh, let's go out to Johnny Dean. Yeah.
Johnny Dean, you mind holding on just for 1 second, buddy?
Yeah, sure.
Stand by.
All right, so we're gonna go read these. Johnny Dean's calling in twice tonight.
Yeah, Ray. Look, he wants to rip me apart.
He loves you, man.
I know he does.
He loves you.
Ray looks like a Canadian right now. Is it snowing, Ray?
It's pretty chilly out here, for a Floridian. I always say this with being a Floridian. It's like you're a Chihuahua. You don't have the fur to deal with the cooler temperatures, if you will.
Well, I'm actually, before we're going to read any more comments, I'm going to go ahead and bring in our buddy, Mr. Jacob Charnow. We're going to keep him into the show here as well.
Wait, what's the weather right now in Tampa? What are you guys considering cold here tonight?
Oh, it's
well,
beautiful,
for me,
man.
I think it's 50s. I think it's 50s.
Oh,
50s.
bro.
Look,
guys,
I'm from here. I'm
guns
from
out.
how you put him away. Be quiet here, Tampa Bay Ray. Wannabe.
Hey, do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and hold off. Just go ahead and sit by because we have Mr. Johnny Dean, the professor's calling in, and I don't like to leave anybody on hold. Stand by, okay?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Johnny Dean, what's going on, sir? What's on your mind?
I wanted to chime in on the Curtis brought up college quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the guy's only got 1 year under his skin with Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
And even with 1 year, he's what, in the top 5 right now?
Correct.
But I see him as the best possible candidate out there because the guy is the only one out of all those quarterbacks, the top 5 quarterbacks. Trey Lance is the only one who actually goes up there and sets his offensive line according to the defense that he's facing.
Well, look, you don't necessarily, I know what you're saying, but you don't necessarily have to run that pro-style offense in order to work in the NFL. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, but you don't necessarily.
You might not have to, but with his ability and what he's shown in 1 year and his ability to read the defenses that he's faced, he's got the highest ceiling for me.
It's risky.
What do you think of that, Jacob?
Does that Mitchell?
Risky than
Is that Mitchell Trubisky to me?
Than Trevor Lawrence overthrowing everybody.
Because come on now, Trevor Lawrence has been
that's
what?
Not a come on now thing. Look at the stats in the red zone.
Look at his statistics. He's won a national championship. He's played more years than a.
We've seen that a bunch.
Look at the
of times,
face of
haven't we?
Jacob.
Well, Jacob's not. I don't think. I mean, to me, I don't think Jacob's a big time Trevor Lawrence fan. But to me, Lawrence has had a lot more proving. He has a lot more.
Anytime you're ready, Jacob.
A lot more of a resume there than Trey Lance.
Let it flow, Mr.
Well,
Jacob.
I'm going to rank my quarterbacks.
Okay, rank your
Trevor
quarterbacks,
Lawrence is
Johnny
not
Dean.
at number 1 spot.
Who?
It's going to be Trey Lance as far as their ceiling goes. Okay, I'm going by how far their ceiling goes.
Okay.
Trey Lance is number 1. What's that guy? The guy that they're expecting to
He's
go to
writing
the
it down.
Jets. He's my number 2 guy.
Who's that?
Okay, and what's his name, Jacob?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
Zach Wilson. Thank
Okay,
you.
Zach Wilson.
And then Lawrence.
And
That's
then
how I
Lawrence. So the guy that's the most proven and the biggest winner, we have not figured this out yet, ladies and gentlemen. We did this with Deshaun Watson before. He was the biggest winner. He should have been the number 1 overall pick. The Chicago Bears should have never traded that pick to get a Mitchell Trubisky. They should have drafted a Watson, and we still have not learned from that mistake.
The first quarterback taken off the board when Mahomes was drafted.
Mitchell Trubisky.
That's right.
All right.
And how did that work out?
Yeah, exactly. How did that work out?
Didn't work out very well. You know
Did
why?
you know
because
that
he
the
only had
Kansas
1
City
year of
Chiefs,
starting.
Hold on. If the Chicago Bears didn't move up that one spot, Kansas City was moving to take it to grab Mitchell Trubisky.
Well, you know what? We probably would have had a better situation with Andy Reid. And that, to be fair to that, that's what it always comes down to also, putting him in the better situation. Has Trubisky had the best situation with the Chicago Bears,
No.
like a Pat Mahomes? Mahomes got to sit.
I don't know who's
Trubisky
worse, Adam
got
Gase
put
or
in.
Matt Nagy.
Adam Gase.
And I think Adam Gase, but
here's another thing about Trey. It's
Trey Lance.
If he gets drafted, whoever gets drafted, number one, it don't matter.
It's gonna be. Look, I'll bet you.
It's Trevor Lawrence, guys.
$100 on this. It's gonna be Trevor Lawrence.
Will be drafted. I'm giving my opinion of the best quarterback.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Trevor Lawrence is going to go to a team that is not built to win right now. Are they? You look at what happened to the kid that went to Cincinnati last year.
I think he was a pretty productive quarterback. I mean, they lost a lot of games, but didn't he not show
what you want? If you're going to draft number one at first spot in this league, and you're drafting a quarterback to come in and play right away, he better have some experience reading defenses.
I think Lawrence has definitely plenty of experience of reading a defense, and I think also
he has not called a single offensive. He has not adjusted his line one time in his career. He's not had to read defenses because they go in there in a set offense with a playbook on his arm.
What do you think? What do you think Meyer's going to run? What kind of offense do you think he's going to run?
He's never.
He's going to run the same exact offense that Trevor Lawrence ran at Clemson. And look, it may not necessarily have the same results.
It's going to have a pro style offense.
You're right. I keep forgetting about Urban Meyers being in the NFL now, and so that might help.
There you go. I mean, there you go. There you go. Let the truth set you free. Good stuff,
Johnny Peter. Hold on just for a second, because I'm going to give a full screen because my little buddy over here has a little bit of knowledge about both these quarterbacks.
Buddy, let's just call him the prodigy there. Jacob Charnow of the Hard Count Football Podcast. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? A lot going on. A lot to say here right now. Number one, Trevor Lawrence is going number one overall. No ifs, ands, or buts there. Urban Meyer wouldn't be the coach of the Jaguars if it wasn't for Trevor Lawrence. I think that's the reality of the situation. The only reason Urban Meyer's come to the NFL is to coach Trevor Lawrence. It's the only drawing point there. Urban Meyer had no affiliation with Justin Fields when he was at Ohio State. They never even interacted. Like, they have no connection at all. He's taking Trevor Lawrence. My quarterback rankings, I think I'm high on Trey Lance. I'm not as high as Johnny Dean is on Trey Lance, but my quarterback rankings, number one, I got Trevor Lawrence. Number two, Zach Wilson. 3, Justin Fields, because I think people are bashing Justin Fields just because I think that he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. I don't think there's a lot to say there. I think he needs a good bridge quarterback, though, and a good player to learn from in order to reach that level. 4, I have Trey Lance, and then 5, 6, and 7, I have Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, and Kellen Mond. I think those are all solid options, but I don't know. But the top 4 are Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, and Lance. I'm just not as high on. Lance isn't going to go, he's not going number one. He's not better than Trevor Lawrence. What his NFL results are going to be, we don't know, because where you land matters, right? I mean, we see Sam Darnold lands with the Jets. They don't help him for 3 years. Baker Mayfield lands with the Browns. They start helping him. They start getting him weapons. They get him a running back too. And this offense starts to flourish to get him that offensive line. He needs Josh Allen as well. And then Lamar Jackson in Baltimore goes 32 and he makes the playoffs every single year that he's in the league. So it's not a matter of talent. It's a matter of what the team is going to do around him, because we don't see a lot of quarterbacks that come into the NFL like a Russell Wilson or a Deshaun Watson that can make that really not even. I mean, we saw Deshaun Watson go 4-12 last year, but really we don't see a lot of Russell Wilsons who can come in and make not a lot work, right?
And how many yards did he throw for?
Who, Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson?
He won 4 ball games. Seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
he led the league in passing yards, I think.
Yes, he did. He led the league in passing yards.
And here's the thing, to Johnny's point, I mean, Trey Lance, he may have a lot more success simply because he gets to a better team. Let's say he could fall, I believe, 12 how about the San Francisco 49ers with their quarterback troubles? Maybe they kick the tires on Lance. He falls right into their lap, and then you look at the defensive starters coming back from.
I think that would be a perfect fit.
Perfect fit, and you get with Shanahan, who's been known to develop quarterbacks. To me, that's a good situation. So yes, he may have more potential than the other quarterbacks that we're talking about at the end of the day, but he may end up in a better situation than, of course, a Lawrence, because it's going to take a couple years. Even with an Urban Meyer offense, you still have to build that offensive line. You still have to put the weapons around him, and that's why they have the money, and their defense is awful. Look, you can't get rid of 4 or 5 first-round picks that are basically your cornerstones of your franchise and expect to win overnight. It takes a little time. Going back to the Burrow point, look, he didn't win a lot of games, and he got hurt. But I tell you right now, he had flashes of brilliance, and he kept really Cincinnati in some of those games.
I'm not going to say he's going to be. No, he's a really good quarterback.
Right.
Okay. And if he wasn't playing for this organization, I'm telling you now, he'd be he'd be one of the top tier quarterbacks in football today.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, when 10, 15 years ago, and Jacob can attest to this, I believe, well, maybe not. I mean, he's 17, so he wasn't watching football then. But even, 10, 15 years ago with quarterbacks, you got an opportunity to sit behind a veteran for 2 or 3 years. Now the NFL is basically saying, not for long. We're going to throw you in there because of a Russell Wilson having the success, because of a Dak Prescott having that success. And it doesn't always work out like that. You look at Aaron Rodgers. It took him 3 years to be a starter for the Green Bay Packers because he had to sit behind Brett Favre. It was the right decision. It's always not the greatest decision to throw a quarterback in there as a rookie, because not only can you ruin him physically, but you can also ruin him mentally because you don't necessarily have everything around him. So I feel bad for Sam Darnold because I feel like the guy's got something, but the Jets are such an awful franchise where they have mistreated him, not put enough around him. If he went to the Chicago Bears or he went to the San Francisco 49ers, it would be an upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. I really believe that. I think Garoppolo could end up with the New England Patriots. So you're exactly right.
I wish that to go back there.
With the Patrick Mahomes,
such a
right?
joke.
He gets to sit behind who for 1 year? And Alex Smith.
Yeah.
And gets under an Andy Reid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if Trubisky was with the Kansas City Chiefs, could it be different? You don't know, but you feel like that situation would have been better than throwing him in with the Chicago Bears.
Well, I assure you
one
thing. Had Trubisky been in Kansas City with that offense, which, by the way, is a mirrored image. Both offenses are identical offenses that they run. The difference is the philosophy that Matt Nagy wants to do. For some reason, he does not want to roll his quarterback out.
Correct. And
I don't get it.
And we used to talk about the same thing when, Jameis Winston was in this offense with Dirk Cutter, how when Winston got outside the pocket, he can make things happen and make throws. Why not do more of the motion? Even with the fumble problem, he could still do those type of things. You've got to predicate your offense around your quarterback. And people say, well, Lamar Jackson, he can't throw from the pocket. Eventually, he's going to have to learn to. But he has a system that somewhat works until you get to the postseason.
Johnny, did you have anything else you wanted to add, sir?
Yeah, I got one more. Just this to say, man. Jacob, all three of you, go put the tape on with Trey Lance and put it side by side with all the other guys.
Okay.
And watch the difference in the decision making and watch how the guy checks down. Watch that stuff, and you might come around to what I'm saying about Lance. But
well, here's my question for you, Johnny. Here's my question for you. If you're a scout and you're looking at where Trey Lance, because North Dakota State, same college as Carson Wentz, you see the same type of traits from Carson Wentz. Does that make you not want to draft? Because people say, well, Ohio State's never had a good quarterback, so we're not going to take one, or is it an individual basis?
No, this is look. You got to look at how this is. He's ranked as the fourth best or fifth best, right? I think he's fourth on the list.
Okay.
And you got to think about he has one season under his belt.
Mm.
So those scouts are seeing the same thing I'm looking at. They're seeing that decision making in order to just even put him up that high. Normally this guy would be ranked in 10th or 11th. Just from where he's coming from and the fact that he's only got one season. But they're impressed. I'm impressed. That the guy, he reads the defenses. He goes out there. He runs check down. I've never seen a 1-year player do this stuff.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely watch. That's for sure. I think you may be onto something. I think he may have more success.
Johnny's definitely got it. Johnny, appreciate you calling in, buddy. We'll talk to you later, okay?
Appreciate you, man. I love talking to the professor
I
about
love the professor.
draft. Yeah.
Guys, a couple things there from that last comment by Johnny. One, I watch more film closer to the draft. I still need to I've been watching a lot of Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields film. I still need to watch Trey Lance, some Mac Jones, and then I need to watch all the receivers and running backs and whatever. But I still have a lot of research to do on Trey Lance, so I don't want to make my final decision on him right now. It still doesn't help that he hasn't played in a year, but that's what it is. Also, I'm still, Peter, you mentioned, how Lance does go to North Dakota State and how with Wentz, I'm still a huge believer in Wentz. I think just because he had one bad year, you can't really dictate anything off that one bad year, right? He had an old offensive line. He had no weapons. He didn't have Miles Sanders for a lot of the season. And he's somewhere that didn't want him, right? They draft Jalen Hurts in the second round last year. That he knew there was going to be that quarterback competition. After you pay him all this money, I don't think it was a good situation for Wentz to be in. I think it's a perfect situation in Indianapolis for him to thrive, and I think he will. I think he's going to be back to that elite form like he was a couple of years ago. Also, finally, guys, I'm a huge believer in the fact that the only player the only quarterback in the draft that should be ready week 1 in the NFL is the first overall pick. So that would be Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray. I think that all these other quarterbacks look at all of them. Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, all of them, Mac Jones, they could all use a year or two under a veteran quarterback. That's why I think the Jets should bring in Alex Smith. I think that
I haven't seen, I'm going to interrupt you. I have not seen one quarterback come into the league, not even Andrew Luck. And I can attest to this. Andrew Luck lost his first game as a pro. Okay.
Well, Russell Wilson as a rookie, Dak Prescott.
Right.
They had some success.
It's not just saying that you're going to have some success.
It's an anomaly.
There's always going to be a learning curve.
Right.
An anomaly. Man, you and them big words
today. I know, I'm a wordsmith. Leo's Tommy. He's watching right now. I'm trying to improve. Leo Haggerty. I love that guy.
No, but seriously, there's always going to be a learning curve. You agree with that, correct, Jacob?
Yes, absolutely.
So, I mean, again, there's always a learning curve, and you're exactly right. The first quarterback that's drafted, but you put him in that situation. We saw Joe Burrow. I mean, he made some throws, can make all the throws, but at the end of the day, Cincinnati is god-awful. They're a god-awful franchise. They have a lot of work to do, but you're encouraged by the decision-making. That's what it comes down to. If a guy, Daniel Jones with the Giants, he's got something, but you don't know what it is. He throws a lot of turnovers. He can make throws. He's athletic. We saw that last year. So the Giants are kind of wondering, and you hear from the coach this week, they're going to go with them. And some Giants fans are kind of cringing. I mean, where do you lie on a Jones with the Giants here, Jake?
It's not that it's not that I think Daniel Jones is bad. I don't think he's good. I don't think he should be the quarterback of the Giants. I've been saying this for a while. But if you're the Giants organization and you're looking at what's going on right now with Daniel Jones and how he performed last year and the year before and saying, we're not even going to evaluate the quarterback position this offseason, that's insane, right? Because there are teams who have much better quarterbacks than Daniel Jones that are evaluating the quarterback position this offseason. So I really don't think Daniel Jones is the guy there. He doesn't have that it factor that I like in a quarterback. And I don't know what Dave Gettleman's doing to say that they're not even going to look for a quarterback this
season. That could be a smokescreen too.
Sure,
Peter.
absolutely.
Okay? That could be a smokescreen.
Right. They could be a smokescreen. We've seen other NFL teams do this, but we also heard from that general manager in Gettleman and how he's fallen in love. I mean, basically just a love affair.
Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. Okay. When you miss a Saquon, when you miss Saquon Barkley in your backfield,
right,
that takes out almost 60% of your offense. I'm sorry, everything's got to run through him. And Daniel Jones is still a young quarterback. And let me tell you something. I've seen some phenomenal plays coming out of that kid this year. His legs got him, a 60 or 70-yard touchdown on one occasion. He got another 30-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, I mean, he had an 88-yard run, and when he
tripped over his own legs. Yeah.
I've also seen him stand in the pocket and get drilled numerous times.
Agree.
With a helmet sticking in his chest, and he's still delivering the ball, and he's still sitting back there. He never gave up. That young man never gave up.
This win is not going to go.
We got win tonight in Tampa.
Yes,
we
do.
We got a little bit of win. But that young man, Jacob, I got to disagree with you a little bit there. I mean, I think when Saquon Barkley does come back and you get him another wide receiver,
you get him offensive lineman. If you're the Giants, you got to draft an offensive lineman.
The Giants are a formidable team in the NFC East because let's be real, they're not really that good in the East anyway.
No,
that's a lot to say though, isn't it? Right? Because I know it's easy to say, okay, well, if the Giants go out and they're getting the running back, if they go out and get him receivers and offensive line and a defense, I mean, that's the rest of the football team right there.
Hold on, wait a minute. No, that's not. Because you still got the draft. And there's a lot of good wide receivers, not too many left. You got Kenny Galladay that's still available. They could make a play for him.
I think they will, yeah.
All they got to do is draft an offensive lineman and then maybe pick up a free agent. Yeah. Hey, man, another week from now, there's a lot of players that are going to be leaving. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of holes that are going to be filled.
Yeah, you're
a lot of holes. This team is not as far away as you think. And let me tell you something. That defense balled out last year.
Oh yeah.
For as bad as they are, they balled out pretty
for
damn.
a few weeks. They looked like really, really good, and then like they just started getting bad. Like I don't know. Like I think once they got Xavier McKinney back, their second round draft pick, who I was a big fan of coming out of college last year. Blake Martinez was an extremely underrated linebacker. Leonard Williams played great. I watched him very closely just because I wanted to see how he did after he left the Jets. But this team is. I thought they were a sleeper last year. They had a few weeks where they played really well. I'm out on this team. Go at least for now. I can't. It's early to say. I know because draft and free agency and all that has to happen. I don't think they're going to end up landing Kenny Galladay. This isn't a team that I think is going to land a lot of big free agents offensively this offseason. I think Galladay ends up somewhere like. I hate to say the Jets because I don't think they're going to want to pay him all that money. I think the Raiders are going to be in play for Kenny Galladay. I think the Dolphins are going to be in play for Kenny Galladay. I think the Jets are going to be more interested in like a Juju Smith-Schuster.
Well, that's interesting.
I forgot about that.
Well, and that's the thing. Pittsburgh doesn't pay their wide receivers, so you could see Juju.
I could see Juju Smith. I think
Miami.
You know what?
I could see. Look, if you want to get Tua a weapon, you go out and get a J.J. Smith-Schuster.
No, J.J. Smith-Schuster. I'm going to go with the over on this one. It's my second prediction.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to the Jets.
I say he goes to the Miami Dolphins.
He's going to the Jets.
I think the Dolphins are going for a bigger name wide receiver than Juju.
I think.
Well, who else? I mean, unless they want to draft
Kenny Galladay is going to Miami.
Galladay can't stay healthy.
I understand.
I know. That's why I don't want him. I don't want him.
They're running out of options because the two best receivers right now have already been signed.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Godwin with Tampa, A-Rob's in Chicago.
Agreed.
It leaves these other two wide receivers.
Schuster goes to Miami.
I don't know. I got him going to New York Jets. I got him going right into that backyard.
All right, we'll see. I mean, if I'm Schuster, I'm going to Miami.
Guys, you guys are forgetting about a huge name, and it's not a name that a lot of people know, but it's a name that's going to be heard next season. That's Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel could fill that slot receiver role that Juju fills, but do more offensively. He is a better weapon than Juju Smith-Schuster is. And I think if you don't know Curtis Samuel's name now, you're certainly going to know it at the end of next year. Because he is an absolute monster on the football field.
Highly versatile player, can play running back, can be in the slot, can be
Excellent
on the outside,
wide
speed. I still take a Juju Smith-Schuster in Miami. If I'm making
I think they're both very good. Two totally different players.
You want to knock it out of the park? You go with an Aaron Jones and a Schuster in Miami, and Miami definitely
they're playoff bound.
Oh yeah,
they could win the East.
Agree, but it comes down to Tua. If you believe in him or not. If you don't, then you definitely got some problems.
I think Tua is going to be a different player in the second year. Hey, Jacob, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and promote yourself because we're going to be on for about 5 more minutes. We have some comments we're going to go ahead and read, and we're going to start from next week. Go ahead. You got full.
Right. Absolutely, guys. Yeah, check out the Hard Count Football Podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud, and then check out the Hard Count Football Podcast live every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Bucs Report and on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel. Go follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charno, Instagram at Hard Count Football. Guys, thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't come on earlier, but it was a lot of fun. And there's going to be a lot more offseason talk, guys. Check out next week. New league year starting. A lot of fun. Some fun stuff coming up with Hard Count Football. And you guys are more than welcome to come onto my show every single week. I love having you both on. So
we may have to do that, man.
We will be definitely doing that. But don't forget, next week, you got the new year coming on Wednesday. It's going to be.
It's Wednesday.
And we have that time slot. We're going to be coming on right around 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening. We haven't ironed it all out yet. There's going to be a whole bunch of special guests. And you are more than welcome to come on. Jacob, as always and as usual, sir, we really appreciate you coming on. Have a really good evening.
Of course, guys. You too. It was nice talking to you.
A prodigy right there. Jacob Charnow, the Hard Count.
Extraordinary.
17 years old, man. I love it.
Yes,
I love it. That's what I was doing when I was 17. Maybe not as extensive as him, man. I'll tell you right now.
And his knowledge of the game is just off the charts. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
He makes the whole room smarter.
I agree with that.
At 17 years old.
17. Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
I
His
like to
parents
trade.
have to be proud for him.
He could be 42. I'll be 17 again.
No. I can't do that again. Actually, I would. You know how much money I'd have?
you know how much smarter I would be? Smarter word. More
All
intelligent.
Johnny Dean, J.J. Watt wasn't the same player without the guys that had been around him. You guys are acting like those guys, Watt, Bosa, and the rest didn't have key players to help them in this game. I don't know. That's the way I was projecting it. Were you?
No, I'm not saying. Again, for me, it was the fact of Watt, not being able to be consistent enough and stay healthy. And that's the thing. It's availability, right? I mean, best ability is availability. So, and he hasn't been that the last couple of years. I mean, look, he had his lowest sack total and you pay him $23 million guaranteed. Okay. All right. We'll see.
Johnny Dean. Okay. Now I am with Harry. Being relative for 20 years is not unrealistic.
Well, they were talking about the
I know what we were talking when I made
before.
When I made that comment. You don't want to sell your soul to the devil. I mean, that's just what
sell
it was.
all day long.
Andrew
I told
Forbear.
you. I told you I would sell it again. If you had to give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks for John Gruden, you get a Super Bowl. Would you do it again?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. Then you sold yourself to the devil.
No, I didn't. I can't say that.
You did. You did because you weren't that good after that, were you?
Andrew Forbear. Why do I know that name?
Forbear, the big board.
Oh, that's right.
Canadian friend right there, buddy. What's going on?
David Mills in the 6th would be a nice development behind Brady. You can Bren Israel. Best pizza in Florida is ABC Pizza Greek style.
You know what? I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to go down this road again because I got made fun of, but I'm still going to stick with it. I love my Hungry Howie's. Screw you guys.
Did he really just say Hungry Howie's?
I did say Hungry Howie's. I love it. Butter cheese crust, bacon and pepperoni. You're buying next time, buddy. Yeah.
I always buy.
You're Harry the Greek. You're my professional
Johnny Dean,
handicapper.
Harry's NFC North bias. You're correct, Johnny. Johnny Dean, I can at least name impact plays from Sue. Still waiting to hear any you can remember from GMAC.
It's a good point. Can you name any?
No, man. I mean, come on. You're asking me to start naming plays. I'll start pulling out tapes. All I know is Gerald McCoy was a very serviceable player, and he was a team player. Okay.
You got Sue. You can get a backup. You sign Nacho if you can get him back.
I like it. I like Nacho, bro.
I do too. I hope he's a free agent.
Westbuck Padilla. Hey, guys. Have we got a running back for next season? And I'm not talking about Ronald Jones Jr. as an answer. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
The victim of volume. It's Ronald Jones.
You have Keyshawn Vaughn.
Right. And you could go, look, they could, at 32, you could go with a Najee Harris.
Okay, please don't say the word.
Or Travis Etienne from Clemson.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay. What do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to tell me the same nonsense that everybody else has been talking about.
Look, I tell you right,
Peterson.
I'm not going to go there, but I will say this. James White. Watch James White. Everybody keeps on saying that.
Listen, James White, I'd rather have over Adrian Peterson.
Could you see James White, Ronald Jones, and Keyshawn Vaughn? What would you think of that running back room?
I see a really good receiver. I see one that wishes he could catch a ball, but he's the best runner on the team.
He'll get better,
and
though.
I see in a guy that can actually do both. He can catch and run the football.
There you go.
Okay, and I bet you know which one that is.
Oh, yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn.
You got it. Johnny Dean. If Fournette leaves, as expected, I have no idea which way they go. They don't currently have a 3-down back. Yes, they do, Johnny.
It's Ronald Jones.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately, he really is a 3-down back. He didn't show it in the Super Bowl in that one play. That cost me a nickel, if everybody remembers.
He hasn't been throughout his career. He's got to improve on the pass protection. I think he's getting better. He has to catch the ball consistently, but going back to White again, White could be your 3rd down back. You could treat it as a 2-down guy. Go with the James White on a 3rd down if you have the money.
I agree.
It comes down to the money.
Russell Weeks. I think Shaq will actually play better once he gets his money.
I mean, that's certainly. I don't think he's played bad.
Nope.
I just think there's NFL offensive coordinators that game plan for him. Is that fair?
That is very fair. They're going to game plan after a guy.
It's called a sophomore slump for a reason,
of course.
But it's not like he was taking all plays or he was terrible. He's 3rd in pressures, guys. Give it up.
Russell Weeks, the Florida no state tax allows Shaq to stay if he gets a better offer. Alec Westbuck Padilla. Damn, I don't want to see him go. Fournette, I believe, was more productive than Rojo. Last year, honestly, he was in certain situations, especially in the receiving game, but not in rushing yards.
Let's just put it out there. During the season, he was very inconsistent. There was a report out there in Week 14 that he could have been cut when he was inactive versus the Minnesota Vikings when they decided to go with Shady McCoy. Did he turn it on at the right time? Absolutely. In the postseason, Lombardi Lenny was unbelievable. The problem is because he was
Lenny. I love that.
You love it, right? Better than playoff Lenny. He was playoff Lenny. He was Lombardi Lenny. And if he wants to get paid and wants to be the bell cow, which most likely he's not going to be here in Tampa, he'll leave. Unfortunately, that's the way the business works.
Johnny Dean, Fournette does not want to play in a running back by committee system. He wants to be a bell cow and carry the ball 30 more times a game. That is true because he is truly a 3-down back.
Right.
Okay. But he's the type of running back that needs the ball at least 20 plus times a game because that's when the motor gets going.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Reggie Cobb. It's a former Buck, and when you give him the ball 20 to 25 times, you give him the ball over 20 times, he'd be running even stronger. It was amazing. God bless Reggie Cobb, because Cobb was a good player, and he found out how free agency wasn't the best friend of him, because he went to the Green Bay Packers, was never the same player since.
Nope, a lot of players do that. Russell Weeks, the D-line and those linebackers won us to Super Bowl. Amen, because that is exactly what I preached. We must keep the defense together. As much as I love Godwin, I would have let him walk and sign Shaq. You know what? I'm not going to go down that narrative. I did agree with it until I really thought about it. You have Tom Brady here for a reason. You will try to retain every bit of offense that you possibly can just to keep this man happy. There aren't enough players on this offense. Like I said earlier in the year, there's only one football.
Sure.
He proved me wrong.
Oh, absolutely. Because you had the injuries to Godwin and Evans and Antonio Brown. And then furthermore, with Jason Light and BA, especially them coming out in the press conference and saying Tom Brady had, no say in the personnel decisions. We know that's hogwash. And why would they say it in the first place? Because most likely Brady went to them and said, look, you got to keep my biggest weapon, my third down guy, and Chris Godwin. He's a big part of this offense.
Johnny Dean, you have to add $2 million to a contract in order to balance out the difference. Hump Day, 391. What's wrong with the Jets? There's nothing wrong with the Jets. I think the Jets are going to be a damn good football team this year, and I am the one of the few people that have already bet the over on the amount of wins. As a matter of fact, I increased it by 2 games of what Vegas has it at because my odds have increased dramatically.
Who's their quarterback?
I'm going to tell you right now, Sam Darnold.
That's their quarterback?
Yep.
I don't know if he's going to get. See, for me, it's hard to say because you got a new coaching staff. Although you're going to have that, that off season. I'm just not sure, man. They got lots of things they have to fix.
Ben Israel. Is Trevor Lawrence a boy or a girl?
Will you shut up and be quiet?
Johnny
what do you
Dean,
think?
Trey Lance would be the right move. Christopher Cole, Shaq is going to get 16 to 18 million a year.
Easy. I don't know what that was. Was it a firework? Or was somebody got shot?
I don't know. It sounded like we're in the south side of Chicago.
Well, thanks a lot. You cursed it. You not only brought the win here, but you brought the gunshots.
Who's already played in the scheme where he's in charge of moving the linemen in the position and trade defenses.
We talked about that, yeah.
Chris Williams, yep. Hump Day, 391. What is AB worth? You know what? Whatever someone's willing to pay him.
Well, I think
a lot of people in Tampa don't think he's worth as much money because he didn't really have that productive of a year. But what I watched, someone's going to pay him.
Oh, well, I think it's the Bucs, and I think he's going to be comfortable with the Bucs, and it may be $4 to $5 million. Can the Bucs afford that? I think they can. They'll figure it out.
I think so.
If they want to bring back this wide receiving quartet, if you will, all the number one wide receivers, I think they'll figure it out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Antonio Brown went to Green Bay. Bite your tongue. Steven Glasker, what up, Harry and Peter? Missed y'all last night. What's up, Steve? Alec.
By the way, he sounds like Freddie Coleman. I feel like that's a clone of Freddie Coleman. You ever heard of Freddie Coleman on ESPN overnight? He sounds just like him, dude. Good job.
Alec West, Buck Padilla. Those are Brady's boys, of course. David. Brown ain't going nowhere after Brady stuck his neck out for him and Brady let him stay with him. That's true.
Exactly.
But I hear his wife wanted to throw him out.
I don't hear that.
I
wanted to.
I'm only kidding.
I wanted to see a reality show out of that. I'll get some money off of that.
Steve Glasker would love to see AB get paid, but really hope he stays in Tampa.
Yeah, he does.
Johnny Dean, the Pro Bowl snubs have helped with Vay. We can sign him to a 5th-year option next season and cheap because of it. Hump Day, Jacob. Hump Day, Jacob's coming, baby. You can Ben Israel. Trey Lance with a whole bunch of emojis.
I don't think he's a big-time Trey Lance fan.
I don't think so. Hump Day again. Trevor to the Jets. Hump Day, Jacob, what you drinking? Steve Glasker, the NFL and their Pop-Tart mentality is absolutely destroying good young quarterbacks. Johnny Dean, 100% would agree to that statement, Jacob. Tim Wotherspoon. Sal didn't start the game of the first season. He was Romo's backup.
He said, what's he drinking? He's 17. What are you talking about?
It's okay. What'd you have for dinner? Okay, quitting. Tim Wotherspoon. Damn. Jack, not sack. Those were not nuggets, bro.
Chicken tenders.
Those were chicken tenders.
Yes, they were.
Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Giants are trash. No, they're not. Eric Moreno. Let me come on, guys. Eric, I'm really sorry. I'm getting ready to get off. Maybe some other time. Johnny Dean. Curtis Samuel's far better choice for a number 1 than Schuster. but Schuster may end up right where he is in Pittsburgh anyway. I don't think so.
I can't see it because
paid.
Pittsburgh never pays their wide receivers. You look at their history, Johnny Dean, you know this all too well. And when they did with an Antonio Brown, what happened? It came back to bite them right in the ass.
Yep, it sure does.
You look at Santonio Holmes being one. There's a couple other guys that went to other greener pastures and never were as productive out of that Pittsburgh system. They love to draft wide receivers. They do not pay big-time money to wide receivers.
Christopher Cole says Emmanuel Sanders could go to the Jets. Johnny Dean. Oh, no.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, he says it. Say that. Stephen Glasgow, not understanding the love for Rojo when he doesn't catch a run as well as Fournette. Disagree. He runs better than Fournette. He doesn't run it with as much authority as Fournette. He's more elusive. And you are correct. He does not catch the ball as well. But you know what? Fournette didn't have a really good year this year catching the ball either. He had a couple of the oopsies.
I'd like to see the victim of volume get more volume on his carries.
Stephen Glasgow, I have no faith in the Jets being a good team this year. Sorry, Jacob. And last but not least, Mr. Johnny Dean. J.J. Schuster is begging them to stay. He is trying to work with them on a deal now.
Well, we'll see.
That could be.
We'll see. I mean, I tell you right now, if I'm Ben Roethlisberger and I just restructured my contract, and maybe that's the reason why they're doing that, you got to keep your top weapon. But again, their history. So for me, the Miami Dolphins, they got to be all over this offseason. They got some opportunities there. Aaron Jones being out there, Schuster, Galladay, we talked about, maybe a Curtis Samuel. I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Samuel. I don't know if he's the number one wide receiver.
You know what I can't wait for?
What's up?
I cannot wait for next week.
I can't either.
I can't wait for the first start. Pete, I want you to tell them what's going to be happening next week.
Next week here, we will have the over-under evolution starting about 7 or 8 o'clock. We'll get you ready. Break down all the free agency moves, what your Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing, what the rest of the National Football League is doing. The new year is starting at 4 o'clock, so we'll get it all ran down for you here on Bucs Report.
And you know what? We're going to have a really, really good time next week. I do appreciate you guys. We both appreciate you guys coming on this evening, to the over and under. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the phone calls. If you have any questions or comments, leave us a message on our inbox.
Yep.
We'll talk to you guys next week. Peter?
How do we end this?
You know what? We can't do that right now.
Why not?
It's after 11 o'clock and we're outside.
All right, well, we're going to do it silently?
I'm bullshitting. Excuse me, did I say that?
That's okay. You're ready?
Bring your passion.
Bring your excitement.
But don't bring
any nonsense.
I'm your host, Harry the Greek.
I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about.